Welcome back to another episode, a part 2, in fact, of BC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, I'm joined by my teacher in crime, Sly. Sly, how are you?
You know, we had so much fun. We had 4 hours worth of fun. We just said we got to do it again. Hopefully, all things go well.
We're
Not
gonna
another 4
try to
hours.
stay on track.
Listen, we're gonna try to make this digestible. But we had so much fun. I can't complain about it. I hope y'all don't complain about it. That one person who watches all 4 hours, if you exist, I love you.
Yep.
But yeah, we're back. Another day, another dollar. Another ranking families in DC.
Absolutely. And then we have our returning guest, Logan. Reintroduce yourself to the class.
Hi, I'm Logan Crowley from the Single Bound podcast. Thank you guys so much for having me back. I'm looking forward to somehow doing more families in less time.
I think we can do it. I believe in ourselves.
Significantly less characters.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps.
We have to get through because if we come back for just the Aquaman family, nobody's tuning in.
Yeah, no, we got to get these families out. You know, it is, as much as I love the Aquaman family, it is diminishing returns. We can't.
Yeah, like,
we start off. Half this episode is gonna be really strong characters that everyone knows and loves, and the other half is gonna be very obscure characters that people are like, "Hey, I know that character."
One person will love. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, kicking off part 2, you can see the list if you're watching on youtube.com/Point of Progress. If you're listening, I'm not gonna recap it. Go watch it. It's a lot of names. But we're starting with the Flash family. We have to start with, I mean, you could arguably say like the patriarch, right? We have Barry Allen himself. What are we gonna do with the Silver Age Flash? Where are we gonna put him? So we have S, A, B, C, and D tiers. Logan,
that's a great question.
I'll start with you since you're our guest.
I think Barry Allen sucks.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. I was struggling so hard with this because I was like, how do I say I like almost every other Flash more than Barry?
I've been calling, and look, I know there's a whole generation of people a little younger than me who grew up with the Flash show, and that you guys have a very different relationship with Barry Allen than I do as a comic reader first and foremost. But I've been calling him Boring Allen since I was 8. Like,
which is significant, right? Like, that's significant.
Yeah.
I think that the best version of Barry Allen ever was Dead Mentor. He worked fantastically as Dead Mentor, as Wally's Uncle Ben, right? The idea that his Uncle Ben was a superhero, I think, was one of the things that made the Wally comics so good.
Yeah.
But
and I will say,
like, go ahead.
To Barry's detriment, we credit the TV show Flash with being a Barry Allen, but he is not the personality of Barry Allen. So every time people say like, "Oh, he's like the best Barry Allen," I'm like, "But is he Barry Allen? Is he really Barry?" I disagree.
I challenge the audience to tell me, what is the personality of Barry Allen?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, this is the point I want to make, right? Because, like, when you look at a lot of the characters that stayed, right? Like, Batman really hasn't changed too much. We've had a couple people come in and out in the cow, but it always goes back to Bruce. There hasn't been, like, a significant amount of time, like Barry, where he was not the hero, right? Wonder Woman, same thing. Superman, same thing, right? And that's our Trinity. So when you go to Flash, a lot of the Silver Age stuff, it's important. It's not, we can't undermine the person. He is important to the overall DC universe. But I think his greatest achievement is giving us, arguably, and we'll get to it.
Up the speed.
Yeah, the Speed Force, setting up the multiverse. Like, he's a conduit to what stuff needs, when stuff needs to get done, right? When important shit needs to happen. And when written well, he works. But his best contribute, like, thing that he added to the DC universe, I can't think of the word, is Wally. right? Because
Yeah.
he is the
His
first,
crowning achievement is a
right?
different character.
Yeah, because he is like, to me, I'm sure there's another, instance beforehand, but he is the true definition of creating a legacy character, right?
Mhm.
We've never at the time never seen a character pass away of this importance, right? Supergirl passed away in the same event too, but no one came back and was like, "Oh, I'm the new Supergirl," right? There
Mhm.
was a speedster that could take over his sidekick, his protege.
Yeah.
And I think, again, when written right, Jeff Johns' Flash Rebirth, I think, is a really well done story. Flashpoint, I think, is a really well story. Now just drived into the dirt so many times over, like 12 feet under.
We've seen too many Flashpoints.
There's only two good versions of it, and it's the actual comic and Flashpoint Paradox, the movie. And even then, it's like it's diminishing returns every time. Every time we tap into this.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never even really liked the comic.
Oh,
I
okay,
like
yeah.
some of the. I like some of the ideas. I love the like. I wish that world was expanded more. The idea of
Yes.
like heroic Captain Cold, of a world where Cyborg is where you've whacked so many heroes that now Cyborg is the man.
Yeah.
Cyborg is
Yeah.
Superman because so many people are off the table and he steps up. Like the Abensur being around, but all of that stuff is sprinkled over matricide.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing for me to root for a superhero in the execution of.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know.
It's a crazy turn, like when you find that reveal, and then obviously, to the detriment of that story too, it introduces the New 52, which is such a bad concept now in hindsight. That even in the current like big event that's going on, like, hey, we could do something like that again because like someone has a memory of the New 52. Like, absolutely not. That was a bad idea. I was like, yes, it is.
New
Thanks for
52, I feel like I was the perfect age for.
You were,
Because it was
yeah.
like cool and fun, and I wasn't thinking critically about anything that was
Hey,
happening.
we talked about listen, we taled about it last episode. There are shining gems there, and some of the stuff that stayed over. Grant Morrison's Superman is one of the best Superman stories. Yeah.
I actually, and I want to share some big news. Grant Morrison replied to a Reddit comment to me today. Actual Grant Morrison about New 52 Superman. Yeah. So.
Wait, didn't that just get posted on Bleeding Cool? Is that you?
Oh, I don't know.
We gotta check it out after the show. All right,
I hadn't seen that.
Logan, would you? I'm gonna put out a suggestion here. Let me know what you think. Barry Allen, C-list.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would put it. Sorry, you didn't ask me.
Barry Allen gets some bones because he is the character that started the Silver Age of DC Comics.
Yeah,
like tied to what leads us into Hal Jordan and the Justice League and the era of DC that honestly most people like that. Although we're gonna find out in a minute, I'm a Jay Garrick guy. Jay Garrick is my Flash.
We love Jay Garrick.
But so I think Barry gets something for that. But the problem with Barry is that there is a real BC AD of him as a character.
Yeah.
And Barry Allen BC,
real Christ figure.
His only personality trait is that he's somehow the fastest guy in the world and still late all the time.
Yeah.
Until he snaps a guy's neck, which actually fits the quiet guys with no personality that I have known in my life, of having no discernible personality traits, and then he just kills a guy. And then you have your AD, which is post Flashpoint, sad about his dead mom, and constantly acting like having super speed is akin to being the Thing. Like it's this horrible curse that he's been saddled with to have what any kid on any playground will tell you is the coolest power set.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can put him in a D because of the Silver Age, but I'm with you. I think I've and that's good. This is going to be the hottest take I think of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I know.
Strong.
I mean, I know older dudes that were like used to debate me, like, because again, growing up in the 90s, I always said Kyle and Wally, man, those my two. I love them more than I love their original creations. And then we would get in debates. It was hilarious. Now moving on to a character we mentioned a lot because of Barry, like we mentioned in Barry's thing. My favorite Flash of all time, and canonically, at least as of now, I think still the fastest speedster anywhere in all the multiverse. Wally West himself, Kid Flash, then turned into the Flash, currently the Flash as well. The main Flash as well in the DC universe. So, he's one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go with this if you guys don't mind. I don't think he goes under an A, like below A. So either A or S for me. And I would say A only because when he was brought back, the initial storylines were kind of cool, and then Salvation happened.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And
I try to forget about that.
Yeah. Again, Tom King, not perfect all the time, you know? You know what I mean? I like a lot of his work. That's not one of them. There were some interesting concepts there with his return, but like taking him about the New 52 was, I think, a detriment to the DC universe as a whole. And I think it was rectified when they finally brought him back. That was a beautiful comic, I think. And then it just, and Titans, the initial, Titans run right there when he was back with the group. But then it started going lower. Until we had, that, and then his unmoored status and him trying to fix all the thing. And then finally, someone smart enough at DC was like, hey, this is stupid. We should just fix it and, like, just not make this a thing. That's where I would say he can't be S because of that horrible editorial decision. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same. It's funny. I'll tell you the other. When I was a kid, I had two nicknames for the Flashes. There was Boring Allen and Whiny West, because I felt like Wally kind of had that same thing as Barry for a minute. But the Mark Waid run and the Jeff Johns run really turned me around on my feelings from him from the beginning of the 80s stuff and in Teen Titans. And I think that if you're talking about what version of the Flash is the truest, best distilled version of the character, what's really cool about the Flash has always been legacy. And Wally comes with that plugged in, because if he's the Flash, it's baked into his trajectory that he had a predecessor who he thinks was better than him in every way, who died on the job.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a much it's a much more compelling hook, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And there's so I'll get to you in 1 second, but there's like a inherent kindness to Wally. Barry, I know he's played as the plucky hero again. A lot of people will think Arrowverse when they think of this, and he is funny. Don't get me, he's fun, loving, and all that stuff compared to the rest of the leaguers. But he has a very serious tone about him, and it was not shocking that he created the Flashpoint like unintentionally by saving his mom, and catastrophically like creating a universe where like so much shit went wrong, like World War III was on the horizon. Like that is not out of the realm of possibility for Barry. What made Salvation, that's the name of the story, right? Salvation. Such a hard read.
Sanctuary.
Thank you.
Sanctuary. Yeah.
Salvation
like
is
something was off, but it was not clicking.
My brain. No spoilers. Not too many spoilers. I've been thinking about Peacemaker a lot, so Salvation kept going in my head. Sanctuary. Yes.
You said it, and I was sitting here going, "Is Heroes in Crisis set in Salvation?" And I never noticed it.
That's why they couldn't find it. That's why the villains couldn't find it. They were like, "I'm not going back there."
And we all know why I have strong feelings about.
Yeah, Sanctuary is very, very rough, and like it felt like it didn't feel like Wally. There was no precedent to see Wally do something like this. He fought Thawne. He fought, different like characters, and until he always had that like thing about him. There's something about Wally, Donna, Dick, all the Titans, right? The original Titans line. And Roy's like the sad one, right? Because he fell, right? But even all of them, like they have this inherent, like they see what their predecessors did and they try to change for the better. And Wally tried to constantly be better than Barry and like try to live up to his memory, but like he's doing it his own way and he does it better. And then not to mention,
he does it better.
Not to mention, he is if you watch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, that's the Flash you're watching. He is Wally West, played incredibly by Michael Rosenbaum, and perfectly, might I add. So, like, for me, it's like, dude, if you're gonna pick Barrett Wally, you have to pick Wally. So, Sly, what are your thoughts?
I love Wally. He's probably my favorite. He is like the one that has been there for all of the pivotal moments for my DC experience. And, you know, honestly, he has mostly popped up recently as a side character in all of the fan fiction I'm reading. So I'm not super up to date with his current lore. Why did that break you? I say that all the time.
I know, but it always gets me. It always gets me.
Man alive, indeed.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not reading a lot where he's the main character. He's usually there for reasons. But yeah, I don't know. I love Wally. Wally is perfect. But I will agree with you. Sanctuary is a stain on. And again, not his fault.
No.
Whoever was in that editorial room, like that's all on you, bud.
Listen,
But yeah, no, I'm fine with A. It's fine.
Cool. All right. So next we have the offspring of a character we'll talk about later, and Wally West. Current heroes, Irie and Jay. Now, there's not too much to them. So we'll start with you, Logan. Where would you want to put them?
I think as much I long for the universe where they are S tier, but unfortunately, I think Schrodinger's dead children have to go in D.
I agree. Yeah, because I feel like they've been more dead than they've been alive.
Yeah.
You know, or they've been babies.
And that's
it's like babies.
Yeah.
We get them alive for a couple years. As like,
don't get me wrong.
This age, yeah.
Big fan of children. They don't do much.
No, and then then Irie had the powers for the longest time, and Jay didn't, and so it was like weird. Until they found again. Kudos to current DC editorial. It was like, hey, we got to do something with these characters, even if they're just in the background. Like, we have to acknowledge this is a part of our world, our universe that we have set up, and like, so now they are.
I think the dichotomy of siblings is so interesting, and they really could have done something fascinating with one superpowered, one not. They're twins, blah 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 blah. I love like you know, like looking at stories with like a hearing child and a deaf child and the way they experience the world, especially depending on what the parents look like. Like, I love playing into dichotomies of things. However, they just don't do that. They're just not. Potential is there, yes. They're just not given anything.
No.
I'll say this though, like in the one thing I can say in their defense is the story where they first appeared. That is a comic that could not exist with the modern internet today, where Zoom causes them to miscarry. Spoilers for this story, for 20 years ago, Flash. But Zoom causes Wally and Linda to miscarry, and then it's a year, and then through an incredible heroic arc that everybody should read, the timeline gets altered, and the kids come back. If these comics were coming out now, Jeff Johns would have been fired. 3 months in, sales would have plummeted. Yeah. Everybody on the internet would have hit, and you'd have never got to that amazing payoff. Unfortunately, I do get why fans. You know, we just talked about Heroes in Crisis. I get why fans get that mad because a lot of times it doesn't have the amazing resolution that Rogue's War does. But Rogue's War is one time where, like, if you haven't read that comic, that to me is the best Flash story ever. And these kids are right at the middle of it.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's the only good Irie and Jay story I can think of, and they're literally not even newborns until the last second of it. Like, as soon as they hit air, they ran out of plot lines.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on to the
plot devices, not characters.
Yeah, fortunately, for the longest time. Moving on to the New 52's Kid Flash, and very controversial character at the time because we didn't have Wally. And he is not Wally. He is just named after their paternal grandfather. Am I correct? Or great grandfather?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why
they're
Wally.
named after the same grandfather, right?
Yeah.
That's what they settled
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wally and
Yeah.
Ace now.
Yeah,
Theoretically.
Ace now. Yeah.
Mhm.
We have
Mhm.
Wallace West, or Ace, as he's known now too. He is again a very controversial figure when it was talked about in the New 52 and being introduced, and he had a really cool design, I would say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know hardly anything about this character, but every time I see like art of him or like fan art or drawings or like comic book stills or whatever, he looks so fucking cool. He
Yeah.
looks so cool. And like how much for superheroes is just looking awesome.
True.
Especially for the Flashes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really that. We were talking about Barry. I hate to kick Barry again. He's gonna catch strays again. Like if you're talking about what launched the Silver Age, that costume. It literally, Barry Allen proves you can literally do anything in that costume and people will buy it.
Yeah.
Because he does nothing in that
iconic.
costume and people eat it up.
Yeah, iconic costume. Iconic. Even
Great
the
costume.
ring's iconic about it. You know, again, Wally's look is iconic, and then having like a turn of that when he's first introduced with the silver. I know, again, that was another controversial pick for that at the time, but like I loved the silver and the red. It kind of seemed like an alternate to his father, the Reverse Flash of the New 52, Daniel West. I thought that was really, really cool. The storyline wise, he was a pretty cool character within the New 52, and not much has been done with him. So I feel safe to say, because of the potential he has, I would put him at C. What do you guys think?
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you guys pick this one and probably the next one because I don't. The only comics I've ever read with Ace was the first New 52 Flash issues, and I jumped off before he got powers. Like I didn't dig that run, and I haven't really kept up with any of the Flash stuff since. So like he looks cool.
Yeah.
I dug him on the Flash show, where I guess he was kind of him and Wally sort of stirred together. But I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, he did have like for the Arrowverse, for people who watched it, the points of that he had with that are Ace, like he had the Zen factor to him and stuff like that, like kind of a different way of how he taps into. I mean, it's still the same way he taps into the Spirit Force, but he had like a different understanding how it meant to him and how it was connected to him, which was really interesting.
Has he got kind of a Max Mercury thing going on?
A little bit, yeah. A lot of people brought that up when he was cool. Yeah, it's a little bit, not too much to the Max Mercury sense of it, but there's a little bit there, and they kind of tap into that in the Arrowverse a little bit. But yeah, he though he's a little different, obviously a lot of the Arrowverse is completely different. His Teen Titans run when Damian and him were on the team, and Emiko was interesting. I think it was interesting and kind of helped. He was like the straight-laced person, alongside Damian, and even so much more so than Damian, which was interesting, because Damian's a killer, for all intents and purposes. Yeah, I think C.
I would bump him up to a B, maybe. Again, I'm not going off of storylines. I'm just going off of like how cool he is.
Yeah. So
just vibes.
Yeah, kind of vibes, and like
vibes.
Similar to
these
Keenan.
are the vibratingest superheroes in the DC universe. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've convinced me we could put him in B. Because again, for Keenan, when we mentioned that last episode, it is potential, right? He has the potential to be like amazing. All right, next we got Avery Ho, the Flash of China. Again, this is not too much. This is very similar to Keenan, but to I would say a level down, which I'm gonna say C because of that, because she's a supporting character in that, Superman of China book. They do have a Justice League of China book that was a series that was out for a little bit, pretty good. She did some cool stuff, and then they kind of moved her over. So it's like expanding the Flash family and be like, hey, this is important. Like all these speedsters know each other, and they have a repertoire with each other, and they learn off each other and stuff like that. So she's important in that sense, but I feel like we haven't done too much with her.
Yeah. Again, I know nothing about her. I love the purple. I love the hairstyle. the undercut with my hair most of the time.
The something about the hair
the
being
streak of
out is cool.
purple. Yeah, yeah, with having the mask and the hair flowing out of it. Yeah, I don't know. She just looks cool. Again, purely vibes. It seems like they haven't done a lot story-wise, which like fine, whatever. But yeah, I mean, cause like everybody has like the more reddish palette, and I am not a red person. I don't love red. I do love a purple though. So,
Sure.
just saying.
Now, I may be wrong. She's trans, right? That's one of her big character things. Or am I
Is
thinking of
she?
a different Lady Flash? I thought she was in the Pride
I
special.
don't know.
Oh, she might be. Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right.
know.
Which would be crazy because, obviously, because she's the
Yeah.
Flash of China. It's like, oh, hey,
It's high stakes.
yeah. You can leave,
But,
right?
you know,
Like,
but that kind of thing, I haven't read much with her, but if that is part of the character, that's pretty cool. Especially,
Come on.
am I thinking of somebody
Jesse
else?
Quick is a non-binary speedster.
oh, just quick.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Wait. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I was making sure I read the sentence correctly.
Not
Yes.
Jesse Chambers.
Just Chambers. Yeah.
No,
No?
she's married to that's Liberty Bell. If she is, that's very new.
Okay. I want somebody else who knows how to read this article and figure it out.
Okay. Well, clearly I don't know anything. Wow.
I don't know. I was just going off
Future
of
DC
Google
Comics.
search.
I mean,
I'll have to look into that.
yeah.
I don't think she is in. I'm pretty sure they're using feminine pronouns in the new JSA run.
That's right.
For
She is
Jesse
in the
Chambers.
news,
Could be.
right? Yeah.
I mean, everybody
Yeah.
changes
I mean, yeah.
everything.
true.
Every time a
That's
new
true.
writer picks something up.
That's true. That's true. Would it be safe to say C? Keep her there?
That's fine.
I kind of feel
Yeah.
bad. Like I wouldn't want to put her any lower because I haven't read enough. Like if there's one thing,
That's true. Like
it feels
the time
mean
she
to
popped
kick-
up, she is awesome. It's just like
Yeah.
it's not enough to get you above C, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I just don't know anything about her.
this person, I think this is a very fun conversation we're about to have. We have Impulse himself, one-time Flash, Bart Allen.
Don't talk about that.
I know.
Well.
That's a gotcha. I know. Not for him or the people buying books like I was. Felt like I was the only one buying that book. We have Bart Allen. Logan, where do you see Bart?
Okay, so the first comic I was ever reading monthly, I was probably 6 years old, was Impulse. there's a character that's very near and dear to my heart. If it was just how much I like him, he'd be an S tier. For me, A's as high as he can go, because since he had just a incredible rocket trajectory up to Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
And his moment in Infinite Crisis alone against Superboy Prime legitimately is one of my favorite moments in a comic ever. But as soon as he came back out of that portal, they have never known what to do with him since. And I don't think he can be in an S tier. But I love him.
Yeah.
He's so cool. He's so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love the I hate to use the man at a time phrase, but he has that feel to him of a little bit displaced, a little bit detached, and I feel like that's so relatable for a lot of young readers, and I think that's so important in characters that people can really glom onto and be like, that's my dude.
Yeah, there's a reason
Also-
why. Oh, go ahead. Look.
I was just gonna say, the only two people who remember this are me and Mark Wade, but he gets bonus points for me because he at one time was one of the few superheroes that lived in the South.
True.
Impulse lived in Alabama, so
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We love
That
it.
is true.
Geographic diversity.
Yeah, not everyone's
Not
East
everybody
Coast.
lives in fucking New York.
Yeah, right. I agree. No, Bart is special. Bart's always been special since his introduction. He held his own book in the 90s, being part of Young Justice, moving over to Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run, which is incredible. His fight with Deathstroke, where he gets his knee shot off. It was such a. I remember reading that issue when it came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen to Bart?" Like I was really scared, and they're struggling with his surgery because he's healing faster than they can take the bullet pieces out.
Yeah.
And then you find out this most amazing thing that he has that I think he may be the only speedster, if I'm correct. So a speedster like Barry, let's say, can go into a library, read every book, and build a building if he needs to. That memory fades away.
Mm-hmm.
Not Bart. Bart can retain all the information. So Bart, not the smartest, not the brightest, but and a little bit cocky, but we love him, goes into a library after, his incident and reads every book in the San Francisco library and is now and retains all the information. So now his power set and how he utilizes it is even more impressive. And he bumps himself up to a tier on the Teen Titans, which is incredible what he can do. And then I mean, you're right, Logan. His trajectory all the way to Infinite Crisis was so cool. All these great moments he has fighting their future selves, like the Justice League of the future, where Tim's Batman and Connor's Superman and he's Flash, and they're a little bad, and doing that. Those storylines are great. All the stuff that you get there, and then he becomes Flash, and it was a bold choice at the time. And it did not work well for him and for many of us. We were readers. I struggled with that series, and I was buying it, monthly. Because I love Bart. I struggled with that series, but
I bought the whole thing off the. I was, I really wanted it to be good. I was furious at the end of that comic.
Yeah, and he dies. And, he's gone for a very long time, and then luckily again, someone in editorial is like, "Listen, we gotta fix this, man. We gotta bring all these people
bring
back."
that Bart kid.
And we brought him back, and I think it worked. New 52 was a little rough. Bart Allen in that, but most of the Teen Titans stuff in New 52 is not great. But once the traditional one comes back,
fair enough.
Let me say though, important to shout out, because I think a lot of comic readers who came in the New 52 and after, they hear the controversial stories about Jeff Johns now, and they don't understand why early aughts comic book fans put that guy on a pedestal. You say somebody in editorial fixed it. It was the same somebody that fixed everything else that got fixed from 2000 to 2008. It was Jeff Johns.
Yeah, you think we would have Aquaman movies? No, if it wasn't for Jeff Johns.
No.
You think Barry became interesting?
Fucking Jordan.
Al Jordan,
yeah.
It just the aughts were this weird period where DC was constantly just doing this bonkers shit, and you were like, why would you publish this? And then right behind it came Jeff Johns with a mop to turn the chicken shit into chicken salad. Just, and he did it over and over and over again. And I don't think reading it back, because all the back issues blur together, that you realize the timeline of that people who are reading it at the time lived through. And not everything the guy has done since has been great, but he's a dude that I will always go to bat for, because of stuff like the way that they killed Bart at the end of that series. It should have been impossible to bring him back from the dead in a satisfying way. But Legion of Three Worlds, when he comes out of that tomb, I was cheering.
Same.
Right? And Johns just did that over and over and over again until the New 52. He ran out of monkey's paw fingers, I guess. And it was,
He's like, I can only focus on these couple of books, man. I can't keep going. And he's like, oh, you know what? We'll work at this Justice League movie. Jeff Johns, don't do it. You're gonna show your bad side. You're gonna make poor decisions. That's too late. But yeah, I think Bart should be A. I think he's a very interesting character that, thank God, we still have back. Today. I want more of him. I want more done with him. Similar. It's so funny though to see some of the characters we have in A, right? Tim, Connor, and Bart. 3 members of Young Justice are all an A.
We
Because
want more from them. They're so close.
Exactly,
They're
right?
right on the line.
I got to see if that fourth member is if she's gonna make it. We'll get there in a moment, but
they all ended up in A for the same reason, which is Young Justice characters were incredible and then have just been fumbled.
Yep.
I mean, I'm gonna, not to be conspiratorially minded, but literally held down to try to get other characters over.
Yep.
In a way that confuses me. If you have a ruby, use it. It's like
exactly.
Don't hide it so your garnets look better. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what was so exciting when Bendis came over and he was like, "I'm gonna do Young Justice," because he's like, "You get it, man." And the book was okay. It was okay, but we'll get it more.
I was so excited at first, but then he reverted everybody's personality and he changed Tim Drake's name to a duck. And I don't
it's like he's throwing shit at the wall. I was like, Brian, it's okay. Just let's slow it down. Slow it down.
You could have gone back to the editing board one more time.
Yeah.
All right.
A couple.
Next, we are going on to a character that I would say I think benefit the most from the New 52 / the Arrowverse, and that is Iris West Allen herself.
Can I go to bat for
the
Iris that we just witnessed in our previous 2 seasons of this podcast? Because, oh my God, I don't know who was cooking with Iris in the DC AMU Into the Tomorrowverse, but she's my favorite character from that universe.
She's so good.
I love her so much. She's so good in that. And listen, don't get me wrong. The Flash, she was great. But something about there was a lot I didn't particularly enjoy about the Tomorrowverse. But every time Iris was on my screen, I was like, fuck yeah. I'm here for it. Yeah. I'm excited for this movie.
Yeah. Logan?
I feel like I've missed I haven't watched whatever she's in the Tomorrowverse, I guess. To me, Iris was before she came. Again, she has the same AD BC problem that Barry does. BC Iris West is Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And then AD Iris West is kind of his sister, which I don't love.
Yeah, I would agree. That was the weird part of the Arrowverse. It was I get weird.
It's a little weird.
From season 1, I was like, how are you going to get them together? Because this is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. But yeah, I think she character-wise, I think she benefited the most because, she was very just Lois Lane, There was not too much different from her, unfortunately. And I think, kind of building her up a little bit, showing her pluckiness. I mean, she has a lot of similar qualities to Lois. Let's not even lie. There's a reason she fits kind of that mold that Lois set up, right?
It works.
It is. It works.
Yeah.
But something about her sassiness that when she comes against Barry, right? And especially I think the Tomorrowverse does a lot of the heavy lifting here because she is for at least for
Top
us.
of mind.
Yeah, she is a character that just is constantly pushing Barry, not letting him he has to answer for his crimes basically. Yo, you got to do something about this. And it's a thing that
she's the only thing holding him accountable.
Yeah,
for
she
all
grounds
of
him,
the bullshit.
right?
Yeah,
she grounds him,
exactly.
which is a funny term to use when someone has lightning powers. I feel comfortable with because so much of her Silver Age history is just Lois Lane in Central City. I feel comfortable at most putting her at B, but I feel like she could be C.
I think that's generous. Yeah. Again, she was just very excellent in the things we were watching. So I feel like there's that bias. I'm fine with C. But again, shout out to the Iris that is in the photo in our tier list here specifically.
Logan, do you think you're okay with C?
Yeah, C works. C works for me.
Okay. All right, next we are moving on to Linda Park West. This is Wally's wife and significant character as well. Logan, where do you see Linda?
So, some people are going to think, for what I just said about Iris, that I'm a hypocrite for how high I'm going to put Linda. But because Linda also starts as a Lois Lane copy paste. But what you see out of Linda throughout the Wade and John series, actually, she does things that end up translating back into Lois. Like, she is the first time I remember reading a superhero wife going, you know, in DC. Because Mary Jane Watson, that's why the people that are Mary Jane fans will never let her go. She was that first, right? The superhero ride or die wife. But Linda is the first one that I remember going like, no, I'm on board with you being a superhero. I'm in on the plan, and Triangle Era Lois, they did that a little bit, but they never really put her in the same kind of jeopardy that they put Linda in, and then had Linda still come out of that and go, no, I'm going to be on your side. I mean, she goes through a whole thing when after she miscarries where like she doesn't even want to hear the Flash brought up until she remembers that the Flash is her husband, and then instantly, changes how she feels about that. And the moment in Infinite Crisis where he's going away and she's holding the babies. And he goes, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know when I'm going to get back. And she grabs the lightning and says, wherever you're going, your family's going too.
Yep. Oh.
I was going to say that. I don't actually know that it's good parenting, but it's incredible wifing.
No.
Like, it's one of my favorite moments in a comic ever. And worked, by the way. However risky it was, worked great. That move has brought those kids back from the dead at least 3 times. Who knows where they were going to be?
Her only.
I love Linda.
Yeah, her only detriments, I would say, are very weird detriments. Are one, it's an editorial decision, which again, Wally coming back, looking for an anchor point, can't find an anchor point, and he goes to Linda first. Which, you would go to Linda first, right? And she doesn't remember him. And I was like, no. That's immediately from that conversation. Like when I was reading that book, I was like, no, I don't believe it. You could sell me on maybe Dick or Roy or Don and not remembering him, right? But like his wife, nah, no way, man. And then Barry remembers him, he comes back, all that stuff, and then he rebuilds the relationship, and then everything gets fixed. Thank God. The other weird thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say on that note, and I do get from John's point of view, like, that was in service to the big moment where Barry remembers him. But again, this woman grabbed a lightning bolt.
Exactly.
Let her have the big moment.
There's a reason why he goes to her first.
Fine.
The other weird thing, and it's a very small thing, and it doesn't knock her down a point where I think I'm gonna put her, where I'm just gonna suggest, is in the Arrowverse, Barry dates her, and I think that was weird as fuck.
What?
Yeah, you remember they go on like 1 or 2 dates or something like that. Like when
no, I got off the Flash at like season 4. Whichever one was the one.
Like season 1 it happened. It's like 2 episodes. It's not even. It's like before Patty, I think.
Whichever season is the one where the villain turns out to be Barry Allen dressed as Megatron, I was out. That was
Salvatore.
Was the end.
Yeah. That was rough.
I don't even remember how far I watched.
Is his name Salvatore?
Is it Salvatore? I forget.
Is he Italian?
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I felt like it's like that. It's like
I will say, not enough TV shows take advantage of the fact that they have so many Broadway stars on them, and The Flash really grabbed that.
That's true.
And held tight and had an excellent episode because of it.
I did. That is 100% true. I did just remember. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. You're saying Savitar. I thought you were saying Salvatore.
No, I said Salvatore. I definitely did. But I was trying to go to Savitar. Yeah.
Sorry. That threw me for a loop. That's all my fault. I didn't. I was like, what was this?
It's fine.
What did they change Kid Flash's name to? Luigi? Like what?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, she dates she dates Barry like 1 or 2 dates or something, and just like then they become friends.
Ew,
I was like, it's
yeah.
weird.
That's
I don't
weird.
like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, literally almost got me out of the Arrowverse that quickly, like the Flash series.
Mhm.
There's a lot of weird almost incest in post
Mhm.
Flash Rebirth Flash.
Yeah.
Like it's
There's
not
just a lot of
really,
almost
but it's
incest
too
in
close.
the comic sphere,
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately. I will say, while we're speaking of the Flash TV show, I am contractually obligated to mention that the love of my life is in that TV show, and we have not mentioned her once.
Wait, Neo Null?
No, Jessica Parker Kennedy.
Oh, yes. Yes, who is looks like she's closer to your age, is actually my age.
Who,
Which
who
made me
does she
feel
play?
she plays Nora.
Yeah.
Plays who?
The daughter
Nora.
that comes back, Nora. She's like the future daughter who comes.
Yeah, he already
I don't
bowed
know.
out.
It's like
You know, he bowed
season
out.
6, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, one of the
Again,
crazy
You're fine.
petition is to have her be in the show, and she obviously is Dawn. So she is straight up like his daughter, which would make sense. I'm like, oh, there's no twins though. That's weird. There should be Dawn and Dan or whatever we talked about before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All fair.
It's Dawn and Dawn. It's even worse.
Yeah,
It's
and I was like, oh, she
DAWN and DON.
and I was like, oh, you didn't do that, and it was like, well, no, but her brother is Bart. I was like, fucking what? Like,
Yeah.
no. Bart's great in the Arrowverse, so he's not bad. Yeah, there's a lot of fun. He's played perfectly by Jordan Fisher. But
I've
yeah.
only seen a picture of him. The costume
We
is
love
dope.
Jordan
Oh
Fisher.
yeah, they killed
Yeah.
it. I would say that's the good thing. The best thing about the Arrowverse, when they committed to the superhero bit and costumes, they did a
yeah.
great job for TV.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
moving on, I want to quickly say, Linda, A tier. Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A tier,
Fine.
Glenda,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, this
Thanks for
one,
keeping us on track, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not.
this one, I think this is gonna be easy. I think this is an easy layup. I'm already gonna put him in S tier, and I think because
yeah.
he has
Okay,
no
thank God.
bad storylines, Jay Garrick. But Logan,
He's perfect.
please tell us why he's your favorite Flash.
He's my favorite Flash. He's a top 5 favorite superhero for me. JSA is my shit.
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna have to haggle him up to A, so this is a very welcome surprise.
No.
I think
We
I
love
think-
that
Jay
good.
here's why he's my favorite. I think
Mhm.
Jay Garrick is the only Flash that might still be a superhero if he'd never been struck by lightning. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
he built the
Good
fucking
Mhm.
treadmill. He is a mentor to generations of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the hat is dope. I'm tired of people
is.
pretending the hat's not
so
No,
dope.
cool.
it is, man. It is.
Fucking
And it-
love the hat.
I'll go even a step further. The hat is so fucking cool that it
Yeah.
works in live action.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
he's a character that has been portrayed in live action, and in animated series, in animated movies, and comic books, and everything in every medium. There has not been a misstep with that character. I truly believe there has not been a misstep with that character.
And let me tell you guys, if you've never read Golden Age Flash comics, what we were talking about with Linda, I promise you, Jeff Johns got that ride or die thing from Joan Garrett.
Yep.
Who in
100%.
all the way back in the 40s, Joan Garrett knew his secret identity and was in on helping him fight crime and was
Love
there
that.
from the beginning.
Which is unheard of
Like
at the
the-
time. For real. Like
Yeah.
Flash has always been a
Yeah.
book that like they experiment stuff with, whether it works or
Yeah.
not. Like they do something special there.
And
Yeah,
they have a crazy chemistry. Like she puts him in his place. She makes fun of him.
Yep.
You know, like he's the hero, but he's kind of this big dork, and she's really got like I don't know, almost like a Tina Fey energy or something.
yeah.
Those Golden Age Flash, I mean, they're dated. Don't get me wrong, but if you look at them in the context of their time, there's something really cool happening with those two characters and their relationship that I feel like is very ahead of its time with how the relationship is balanced. Like even though he has the superpowers, the power dynamic in the relationship, a lot of those comics are, you know, she rides into the crime on his back, like around his neck, and then while
Hell
he's fighting the
yeah.
bad guy, she figures out the plot and tells him.
Mhm.
And then he goes, "Oh, thanks, hun," and runs
I
around in a
love
circle
that.
because that's what flashes do. Yeah, like
But dude, he's great. No, he's honestly he's S tier. There was no even debating it in my head. I was like, I don't think anyone's
No.
gonna debate him lower.
Absolutely
And
not.
this is a good moment.
When he popped up in the fucking World War II,
Oh my god, he was great. Yeah, in the Tomorrowverse movie.
the
Yeah,
Tomorrowverse.
Justice Society World War II.
So
Great.
good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a
Incredible.
shining example for people who have not maybe read the comics that's why he could be a hero without having the powers, because everything he does in that movie is heroic and he just happens to have power. It just like it helps him even more. Like I think he would have been part of the war effort no matter what.
I want to shout out one more
Yeah.
moment before we move on from him, because I think if anybody hasn't read have you guys read the new Alan Scott series?
Only a little bit early on. I have not moved too much into that. I do want to read more.
Can I spoil?
Oh, please. Yeah.
A really cool thing. Are you both cool with it? Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole crux of this comic.
I'll be so real. I won't remember it after this conversation, but I'll enjoy it now.
Wow, what a superpower! So the whole crux of this comic is merging Alan Scott's gay identity with his pre-New 52 canon. And I'm a huge Alan Scott fan. And I initially was very reticent about that retcon, just because the fact that he was a guy who made poor sexual decisions around the women in his life was vital to Alan Scott's character arc prior to that.
Especially with his children.
But this comic really recontextualized it. There's even a moment in it where his son asks him point blank, he's like, "So are you gay or bi?" And he's like, I'm just being me. He's like, I don't want to get that into it. Yeah. I really appreciated that. But the moment in it that why I wanted to bring this up is the whole comic is mostly set in World War II. And Alan Scott is in the closet on the JSA, and the JSA work for FDR. Right? So Jay Garrick is following Alan Scott very closely the whole time, asking him questions. And the comic is written because it's from Alan's perspective. He thinks Jay is a homophobe trying to catch him. And he's constantly pushing him and the rest of the team away, trying to keep away from him. And at the end, Alan Scott is overwhelmed by these Russian supervillains and is getting his ass kicked. And suddenly, Jay Garrick comes around the corner with the cavalry and has known the whole time and doesn't care. He just wants to be there for his friend. Like,
dude, I'm telling you,
hell yeah,
that's great.
It's if you guys have not read that comic, like I said, I'm sitting here as someone who was against that Alan Scott retcon. That comic turned me around 180. Like it blended it in with the character and gave some incredible character moments. And the Jay Garrick part of it is like the fact that friendship is a crux of it, in that Jay's love and acceptance is what makes Alan able to finally accept that part of his life 70 years later. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's great. That's a great.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
Love that.
I did one little shout out before we move on to the final character in the Flash family. John Wesley Shipp, incredible portrayal as Jay Garrick, but he's also a character. He's an actor that was able to portray 3 different characters in the Flash series to different degrees, and all 3 of them perfectly. Like, he was perfect as Jay Garrick. He's perfect when he came back as his Barry Allen from the 90s, and he's also perfect as Barry's dad. Insane.
Yeah.
He does not get enough love. Shout out to John Wesley Shipp. So our final character, where I felt it was important for us 90s folk, reading those Wade runs and all, Max Mercury, the Zen master of the Speed Force himself, Bart's like tutor, and he was like his surrogate dad for the longest time too, right? Like, he lived with them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, where do you want to put Max? Because I have an idea, but I want to see where your head's at.
This is such a tough one for me, because Max is an incredible character. And he predates that Impulse series as a Golden Age character called Quicksilver. But I think we all realize that Mark Waid really reinvented him. The problem with Max Mercury to me is that was supposed to be Jay, and DC wouldn't let him use Jay because Jay was in JSA. Which is a crazy thing to say, looking at how DC uses Batman.
Yeah.
Right. But this guy with super speed couldn't be in 2 comics. So I'm very conflicted because Max's stories are so good and his characterization is so good. At the same time, that should have been Jay Garrick all along, you know. And I think you can see that with how after DC got okay with Jay Garrick being Bart's mentor and Jay and Joan raising it, which is a dynamic that I miss. They just gave Jay Garrick a kid in the comics, and she seems fine so far. But to me, Jay and Joan's kid should be Bart.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
That dynamic was perfect. So I would put Max at a B if it was me.
No, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking myself. I think he's like an important character to the overall Flash legacy. He's a very unique speedster, and how he taps into the Speed Force, I think, is really unique in comics. And he is also one of the few characters that we talked about here that it seems obscure, but he's loved by so many people that he's in Young Justice. Doesn't have too many lines. I don't even think he has lines. He's just in the background. He's technically a Justice League Reserve member.
There.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, Max. I saw that. I remember seeing that, and I yelled. I was like, oh shit, Max Mercury. Like, Young Justice is not gonna love him.
I will say one more thing about Max Mercury that's important. Mark Waid creates the Speed Force. From a canon point of view, if it was not for Max Mercury and his open-mindedness and spiritualism, none of the Flash characters would have ever figured out the Speed Force.
Yep.
They wouldn't know about it. They would not. They were not paying attention, right? So Max does have that very important distinction of he is the psychonaut that looked within himself and went, why am I so fucking fast?
Yep.
You know? You know. So that's an important, that's an important bit. Not nothing.
All right. So next we are going to one of our last heavy hitters, the third of the Trinity herself. We're doing the Wonder family. We're going to start with Diana of Themyscira herself, Wonder Woman. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm thinking no lower than an A. S. I was gonna say S off the bat.
I think
okay. Here's my only problem with Diana. Is every time she shows up, I have to ask the question, who is Diana today? And sometimes I like that answer, and sometimes I don't. As a personality, as a character, as a skill set, as an action hero, 10 out of 10, no notes, all of the time. But personality-wise, I feel like sometimes what comes out of her mouth, I go, why on earth did you write that? And I'm looking at the writer. I'm looking the writer in the eyes, and I'm going, why did you make that choice?
Yeah, the beginning of the DC AMU does not do her any favors. The DC AMU specifically does not do her favors when you have this amazing New 52 run that you can pull from, and they don't. It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's a New 52 base universe, like, for animated movies, but, like, not really storyline wise for her.
Well, but that New 52, I will say the one thing about Wonder Woman that is, I do feel like her fan base right now on the internet are really kind of acting like babies. I don't know if you've been to their Reddit, but like that New 52 run is really good.
Yeah.
And they hate it. Right?
It's wild to me.
They really in their heart feel like that run is chauvinist, that it makes all of her powers come from a man, that it spoils the perfectness of the Amazons. And they have some version of that problem. I've never seen a fan base that seems to dislike every iteration of the character they like as much as current Wonder Woman fans. And I'm a big Wonder Woman. I love the George Perez run. To me, is the gold standard.
It's great, dude.
I grew up in the Greg Rucka stuff, like she, to me, they like Go on Wonder Woman's Reddit right now and talk about how much you like Wonder Woman from the Justice League cartoon. They will light you on fire.
I love her.
Talk about how
I
much you
love
like
her
Gal.
so much.
Talk about how much you like the Gal Gadot movie that 10 minutes ago
I don't like her, but
we were all praised. I don't like her as a lady.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a good actress, but 10 minutes
Yeah.
ago, it felt like everybody loved that movie, and I still like that movie.
The first movie was great.
But
Yeah.
it just
the first
every
one was
version
fun,
of
yeah.
every version of Wonder Woman that you can think of is problematic and bad, and I don't know. Is the answer that they're looking for that we just sit with our arms crossed and not read any Wonder Woman comics? Like,
Yeah,
I
right.
don't.
Then she wouldn't
But I
have
do
like
feel
she wouldn't have got past like the kung fu like no powers Diana Prince era
Yeah.
with the white suit, or she wouldn't have
Yeah.
got past. Remember the first
I love
redesign
the
of her
white
costume
suit.
after the white suit, the jean jacket or the leather jacket. What
That
was
was
it?
the
Yeah.
choice.
Wonder Woman
for the
600.
mod. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, listen, that's not a bad suit, but come on, what are we doing? Why are we complaining? Like, this could be worse. We could have had the Adrian, was it Padalecki, that actress who played
Oh, yeah, that
Mockingbird.
movie was bad.
Dude, that
Yeah.
one episode, Pedro
Highlight.
Pascal, hilariously enough, is in the pilot of that. You can find it online. It's easy to find. It's not even
Well-
like pirate it. You can find it. It's not great. It is not good.
Let
There's
me
a
say
lot of
though,
tit talk.
yeah, but I mean, I do feel like the few moments she actually gets to play Wonder Woman is a good Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she looks good in the role.
She looks the part,
She's
yeah.
good. She commands the power and the grace and the compassion when she gets to, but it has a weird triple secret identity thing. I
Yeah.
think Wonder Woman, more than any of the other characters we've talked about, Sai said something really, really insightful, which is when a lot of these characters, like Barry, when they're written poorly, you go, "What the fuck are you doing, Barry?" When Wonder Woman's written poorly, you go, "What the fuck are you doing, Tom?"
Yeah.
You know, like, like you can just. She's more than any
Yeah,
other
because
character.
it doesn't feel like her.
Yeah.
You can just see right through it to what Wonder Woman is supposed to be, which is
which I think means she's perfect. I just disagree with a lot of people's takes on her.
No, I agree.
Oh
And
no,
then-
that's exactly why I brought up the Reddit. Is I don't think there's a character. I think you're 100% right on that. I don't think there's a character on this list with more bad takes than Wonder Woman gets.
And despite all the weird editorial choices they've done with her throughout her, comics history, again, the no powers, try to reboot her, try to make her, well, it takes place in the 70s now. There was no World War II. There's no, whatever. Constantly going through that, constantly rotation all the time. And finally settling to where we are now, which is great. But like, every bad choice.
The keystone of the Trinity.
Yeah.
Like, she's held her own through all of the choices.
That's what I'm saying. Like, through everything, she still persists. Which is, I think, very poignant for her character. And then, she even, clear as day, I remember again the lead up to Infinite Crisis. Logan, you're gonna know this exactly where I'm going. Maxwell Lord, we find out that he's a villain. He mind controls Superman. They're in this amazing fight, crazy ass fight, and then she makes the decision to break his neck. Pop, right there. And I remember how divisive that was, because if you were, this was me even being like,
she knows the necessity of a means to an end.
You were like, oh my god, this is not. It was like, listen, this is how great this character is, right? There were so many discussions about her actions in that book, and that specific issue and what happened. And I think it was an incredible book. I think it was an incredible choice to make, and I think it really led up to some of the issues that the Trinity had going into Infinite Crisis, and like why there was so much, why the heroes were so discombobulated when everything was happening. But that's how great she is, that something like that happened. And again, we just talked about it. Everyone was like, I don't know if Wonder Woman would do it. And other people were like, Wonder Woman will 100% do that. We just haven't seen her do that before. Like, what do you mean? She's an Amazonian, there was like so many debates. It was, what an interesting time. I
mean, she's the best tier.
I was going to say, I think she's an S tier.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, the other two members of the Trinity are here.
Yeah.
And if we don't include the woman,
yeah, there's gonna be an issue. Yeah, there's gonna be an issue. But
I will say, I
no.
do have a Wonder Woman hot take. I do think that one of the things that really diminishes her as a character is when you put her power level wise on the level with Superman and Captain Marvel and Power Girl and Supergirl. I think so much of how it puts you in weird situations, so much of the world that's built around her, like she has the bracelets because she's not invulnerable. She has the jet because she can't fly, etc. Right? So much of her iconography is built around her being like very super strong, very super fast, not invulnerable. And I think that
she's
her
a demigod. You have to have that human element of her. Otherwise, you're taking away from what makes her special.
Well, and I think that so much of the things around her in her setting, but also her rogues gallery, like Giganta, Cheetah, Dr. Psycho, Dr. Poison, so many of these characters are now punching bizarrely outside of their weight class because people feel like she has to be on the level of Superman. And I don't understand that, in a world where you have Supergirl and Power Girl and Barda and these other characters that are organically on that level already.
Yeah.
But B, I would, Captain America can't throw a dump truck, and nobody doubts that he's the greatest hero and, that he stands in that Avengers level in Marvel. So I don't understand why Wonder Woman can't be around a Spider-Man level of power, but be such a good person. She's up there anyway.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they want to diminish her that much. And the other person in the Trinity is fucking Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
It's a rich dude in a cape.
Yeah.
Right.
With money. That's it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the first Wonder Girl herself, one of the original Teen Titan members, and I believe in current continuity, the leader of the Titans herself, Donna Troy.
I love Donna.
I love
Donna's
Donna.
great.
I love Donna too. But she has some of the weirdest DC history. And Logan,
she's a hot mess.
I'm thinking,
but if we ignore all the weird stuff, she's really cool.
Again, yeah, this is potential wise. I think she. I feel weird about this. I think she should be C.
Do you guys know the story? Do you guys know why she exists?
No clue.
No?
I just know I love her.
So in the original Wonder Woman, the Robert Kanigher Wonder Woman comics, she would team up with herself across time. There was a teen Wonder Woman named Wonder Girl and a Wonder Tot that was her as a baby, but they were all Diana teaming up across time, right? So when they did the Teen Titans, the guy who, I cannot remember his name right now, part of me wants to say Murray Boltinoff, but maybe that's just because I want to say that name.
It's a great name regardless.
It's an incredible name. He didn't read the Wonder Woman comics when he was picking sidekicks. He just went,
Wonder Girl.
There's a teen girl over here. Okay, she's on the Teen Titans. And so
incredible.
Now they had this question of who is this chick in the Teen Titans? Because it's not Diana, because Wonder Girl is Diana. So that's why she ends up originally with, you remember Wonder Woman's origin? Turns out Hippolyta just ran that back. And it went great.
Yeah.
Don't know why she hasn't done this
one more time.
200 times. And that's what starts the Donna Troy mess. And actually, that first Teen Titans series, we're gonna get to it with Aqualad. His name, he didn't have a name for decades.
Of course,
he was just Aqualad. So that original Teen Titans comic wildly, was some of the stuff that it didn't do. To me, she's a C because you know what? No, I'm a.
Can I make a case for a B because she's hot?
She does have the space suit. It's one of the coolest superhero costumes ever.
Yeah,
especially how she moves with it, and like if you get a really good artist style, like the constellations move. You know what I mean? Like it's like similar to Starman. Like it's good design.
She's kind of got that Damien thing we were talking about in his, where like she
Uh-huh.
ends up in really good story. I mean, she's in the new Teen Titans with Wolfman and Perez. Her death in Graduation Day is so moving,
Yeah.
and devastating. You know, you know what? I think just for the stories she's in alone, she probably earns a B.
Hell
And
yeah.
the suit.
And the star suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Good
this Donna Troy, yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
her rebirth and coming back and like the reestablishing that character, I think has worked pretty well. Her being on the Titans has done a lot of heavy lifting in recent years. I think that also helps. And then I want to give a special shout out because not everything's great about the series. I did watch a decent amount of it, but Connor Leslie's portrayal of Donna in Titans, HBO Max's Titans,
I
she
still
did?
need to watch
she did pretty good. She did pretty good. I in all good. Listen, Slide, we're gonna have to cover it eventually.
We'll have to do something for it.
Yeah. But she's good. Yeah, I think Connor Leslie does a really good job as Donna.
Does she look right into the camera and go "fuck Wonder Woman"? Or is that
No, that's
my-
only specifically for Brandon Thwaites for some reason. Just Brandon
Okay,
Thwaites is
gotcha.
the only one who gets that for whatever reason. Yeah. So moving on, we have the next Wonder Girl, Cassie Sandsmark of Young Justice and so many things. Go ahead, Sly. Go ahead. Where you go?
I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
99.5 of the time that Cassie appears, I do just default in my brain to her being Cass, as in Cassandra Cain.
Oh.
I completely forget this character exists a good chunk of the time, and that's on me. That's a me problem. But also, I know
No, DC editorial's doing that
about
for you.
Cassie.
No, DC editorial's doing that for you.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
Logan
this:
Phil.
she was such a good character with such an interesting origin that when they
that they
did the new
immediately
50,
had to nerf her.
well, sort of, when they did the new 52, they stole her origin and gave it to Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, who do you think was Zeus's
They're
daughter
like,
beforehand?
we'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's why
that's
why in modern comics she's just gone.
Yeah,
And
for the
she's
most
kind of
part,
coming
yeah.
back now, you know. She
Yeah.
like Bendis, she's one of the ones that Bendis, she's in the same Young Justice bubble.
Right, yeah.
She was an incredible character for a long time, and then in modern times is being held under a blanket with a fart. Like,
Yeah.
like it.
Her stories
so
are so compelling, and her.
Yeah.
I every time I think of her, right? Obviously, the initial Young Justice run I think is really great, but going back to Jeff Johns, his Teen Titans run, you know, establishing her in the Teen Titans, her relationship with Connor Kent, that building up the death of Connor Kent and how it affects her in her books and the Titans specifically, and that weird, you know, sad relationship that she has with Tim for a little bit post Connor dying, and it's not played as in like this should be a relationship. It's like something that it feels forbidden even for them. Like they don't feel right about doing it. Like it's all around messy. I think it
This
just
moment of grief and
yeah.
connection.
I don't think she's had a bad
gets,
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of gets done the dirtiest of the Young Justice, like, which is crazy to say because Bart and Connor fucking die. But, but while they're dead, she like joins a cult.
Yep.
And gets branded with Connor's symbol, like very like Nexium stuff before that came out, which in hindsight makes me wonder if somebody in LA knew about that and wrote it in. And then,
you never know.
And then she comes back and has that sad relationship with Tim. To me, I think she's a B. You know, like I said, I think she ought to be up with the other ones, but I think that she took the brunt of what they got, and then now because they used her origin in the Wonder Woman movie, she still can't pop her head back up above water.
Yeah, I agree. I think B is a good place for her. Yeah, because part of me would love to have the 4 Young Justice members at A, but like you're right, they did her dirty editorial. So this is on
We
editorial.
really need to
Again,
do a deep dive on
DC
Young
editorial.
Justice.
Start punching them in the face.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
too.
All right, so
Hey, if y'all want to
Yeah.
do an episode just reviewing the 20-something issues of the Jeff Johns Teen Titans run, say
We will
when.
hit you up as soon as
Yeah.
we finish season 5.
Yep,
We
yeah,
have
we'll talk
ideas.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Sly, I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one
Uh-huh.
because this is one of your favorite characters, and I you know what,
I love her.
I'm not gonna complain
I
where you
love
put
her
her.
so much. Here's the thing about Artemis is there is a very good webtoon comic
That's the one doing
where
the heavy
she
lifting.
is very good. She is excellent in that. She is drawn beautifully, muscles up the wazoo. Listen, and she also has a great emotional character arc throughout that run.
She's not bad in
And
canon.
she's just very
Red
cool.
Hood and the
Yeah,
Outlaws as
she's
well.
very
She's
cool.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Listen,
gonna say.
anyways, she's great. I love her. Do I have a thing for redheads? I'm
you do.
discovering this right now.
your
Carlos is
canon
nodding
event.
like, yeah, we've known this.
Yeah, I do. I know that.
Ah,
so, yeah.
shit. Okay. Anyways, Artemis is great. I love her. She's great in canon. She's also great in. It's like canon adjacent. Yeah, it's close enough. I would put her in A.
Hey,
I don't know if that's too
Listen.
reaching.
Nope. This one's on you
Okay.
because
Okay.
I know you're the one who loves her the most, and I've read enough of Red Hood and the Outlaws. You're like, I like her character, but I was like, I know you love her. I was like, listen,
I love her. She's and there's always room to grow with her, but I feel like every iteration of her, she has a very hard name to live up to, and for them to be able to take her as a character and give her an identity that's not just how can we do a funny little spin on Artemis kind of thing. I think she, from what I've read, has been pretty tonally consistent, and I feel like that is a very impressive thing for a comic character to have.
Well, I think she's great. And not for I think she's great in Red Hood and the Outlaws. I think she's consistently great as the heavy of the Amazon island throughout all the Wonder Woman stuff. And not for nothing, she made the greatest sacrifice a fictional character can make, which is that when everybody in DC was catching edgy 90s L's, she took that for Diana. That was supposed to happen to her, and Artemis took that beating on the greatest sacrifice that could be made.
Yeah.
So good points for that.
Yeah,
but I love her. Red Hood and the Outlaws. Actually, if you guys have read the Trinity run by Matt Wagner, the Trinity miniseries, she's just a straight up bad guy in that.
Yeah, that's right.
And
back in the day,
I support women's wrongs.
That sure is coming too.
I like both versions, and I dig in that version the idea of an Amazon being like, hey, I'm not into all this hippie shit. I just want to be strong. I'm just gonna go where I'm stronger than everybody.
I want to be I want to be the weapon I was trained to be.
Yeah.
I'm here to be a warrior, and y'all are off saving puppies and kittens, and I'm gonna go be a warrior.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think she's great.
So now we have, I don't want to say a controversial character, but a newer character in DC lore, the quote unquote daughter of Wonder Woman. And her name is Trinity. This is a character we don't have too much about. And what we do have is little glimpses of her future, or, some of her growing up around her, brothers and John and Damian. Some very cute stories there, some cool stuff. It makes you wish that John was still young, and instead of Super Sons, we had Super Trinity, or something like that would be great with these three characters. But we get a little couple glimpses of what life could have been with them three. I feel safe at putting her C because she hasn't had too much given to us, right? Tom King is currently writing about her and stuff like that. We've seen some stuff, and I think if we're looking, am I wrong? She's Steve's kid, right? Or like,
Yes.
yeah, and then Wonder Woman adopts her. Right?
No. I think I think that Wonder Woman sculpts her with some of
Doesn't do
Steve's.
the baby out of the
Yeah,
head lore.
yeah. No, if I remember correctly, she mixes because he dies
Yes,
in that run, and then she mixes like some of his blood in with the clay
that's
that she makes the
right.
baby out of.
Yes,
Maybe,
Iconic.
or maybe
Love
it's just
that.
love. It actually is a good. I'm not crazy about that run, but it is I think it's a good moment. Except that it's one of those moments where we'll get to it with Steve. I'm gonna put that off. Trinity is in the same moment that I was in with Damien in 2007 or 2008 or whatever. Which is I have only had her in one run and I don't really like it. She's not the problem with it. The idea that something like the Sovereign can exist in the DC universe and nobody has addressed it. The JSA are just fucking idiots.
Yeah.
The Spectre didn't know. This dude literally gossips with the Lord, and it didn't come up. You know,
the canonical.
It just that whole villain is just Tom Kinging into the stratosphere. Is he has a thing he wants to say, and damn any comics that came out before it.
By golly, is he gonna say it?
Yeah,
and
for
sometimes
better or worse.
I love it. He's gonna say his shit. He's gonna talk his piece, and we'll feel about it how we feel about it.
Well, sometimes when it's the Vision, when it's, I mean, Omega Men we talked about last time, like when I've never known a more binary writer. Tom King's books are either Alan Moore or crap, and not anything in between. But that is the problem with Trinity is right now. I don't dislike the parts of her that are that story. I actually really dig the stuff with John and Damien kind of babysitting her.
I love it
that they've sprinkled in.
There's potential there, but we don't really have anything to.
I did want to shout out though her canon name, like her identity name is Elizabeth Marston Prince. So she is named after the creators of Wonder Woman, which is a cool little little nod. All right, so we got 3 more characters of the Wonder family, which I think we can kind of get through pretty quickly. We have Hippolyta, the matriarch herself,
the actual Greek character, basically. She's just there.
Sly has thoughts when it comes to actual religious characters.
I have thoughts about religion and comics.
There's so many episodes we could go into.
Probably. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. No.
I love that Hippolyta set that off and not the Spectre.
Yeah.
Listen, the Spectre. Whatever. But like, the amount of writers who look like me who think the solution for an interesting exotic, I hate that word, but like exotic like storyline is just appropriating real life religions that are still practiced and turning them into superhero characters is a choice. It's a choice I don't particularly love. But she's there. She's great. Slay. Love that for her. She's usually the like antagonist because she's like, hey, don't do this stupid thing. And then Wonder Woman says, fuck you, I'm Wonder Woman, I'm gonna do the thing and succeed because of it. And we're like, yeah. But yeah, she's fine. She's there. She's cool.
It's hard for me to rank Hippolyta because Hippolyta is kind of and let me say I also have a bias with this because me and my wife really talked about Hippolyta as a name for a girl for a long time until my mother name. I thought so too until my mother pointed out that the first 5 letters of that name are hippo. And any child of mine is probably going to have a lot of themselves for others to love. So maybe not the best name to put on them and then send them into a public school.
Yeah, fair.
Valid.
So that's what got rid of that. I agree.
I hate that people are awful, but
Things you gotta think about.
Well,
Is said.
and Hippolyta, there's two versions of Hippolyta, right? You have the classic
Uh-huh.
Hippolyta that we see a lot, but post-crisis, Hippolyta is the Golden Age Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She was
Uh-huh.
on the JSA.
Yeah.
She is one of the foundational superheroes of the universe, and Mark Waid just brought that version back. That's the version of Hippolyta I grew up with that died in Our Worlds at War. That is like Wonder Woman, but the version of the Wonder Woman that lived through the Nazis. She's more no
Right.
nonsense.
We love somebody who's willing to punch a Nazi. We're a big fan of punching Nazis.
Something that again, this is another example of the modern Wonder Woman rifling through her supporting cast's pockets for loose change. Post-crisis, Hippolyta had a sword and shield, and Diana didn't use that stuff because she was so much stronger than her and didn't feel like she needed it. But it gave them a really interesting dichotomy of like this older, less strong Wonder Woman will stab you.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one,
yeah.
And so, like I said, that's the version of the character I grew up with. If that was all that Hippolyta was, I think she'd be sliding comfortably into an A. I think because they cannot decide if she is that or the femme version of the floating Jor-El head,
Basically.
Yeah. I think she's gotta kind of. I feel bad. We're putting all the Wonder Woman characters in the B rank.
I immediately thought B with her
great.
too. That's
yeah.
a sad
Well,
thing.
I was gonna say let's put her in A because Mark Waid just said that the Hippolyta I like is Hippolyta again. So
hell yeah, we're here for it. Let's go.
All right. Next we got Nubia, one of the strongest Amazonians.
I don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
I missed this
gorgeous. That's all I know about her. She is gorgeous.
I think she is, from the little I was able to read of her stories and stuff, she is like a really good character, but it's, again, not utilized to its fullest potential. Her solo series, for the issues I read, were really good, and her history with like the characters of of DC in general is really fun to read and watch. So I feel safe with her.
Was great.
B, right? Like, because they're what's been written about her has been really good, and I feel like she needs more. I want more. I think that's why I put her at B.
More of her.
Yeah, I want something more, like another. And DC does this cool thing every once in a while, and Marvel does it. They'll put a character away for a little bit, maybe like 2-3 years, and come back with a new volume of their series, or put them on a team book or something like that. Like, I would like something like that. Like, it's been a couple years. Let's do another 12 issue or 6 issue miniseries with Nubia, and I think that would be really well received by the audience and stuff. So I think B, we're good there because of again, potential. Like, I don't think there's, honestly, in my opinion, haven't been a bad story, and then it's just not enough.
I put in our shared chat the last issue, the cover. I just like everything about her. I just love it so much. And again, I haven't really dove into her storyline, but I've heard good things, and everything I've seen from her looks incredible.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely, I'm a fan. But I think B's a good place. All right, so Steve Trevor, I think.
Okay, I want to clarify. Yeah, the way I structured these lists.
Yeah,
is I put the face of the family first, and then I put all the characters in the order I thought of them. And at the bottom, I put, to like wrap it up, the tying home, the like keystone of the family is always the partner, the woman that brings the whole family together, right? And then I was doing the Wonder family, and I went, oh, I guess that's Steve. Crap, I have to include him.
Steve. Yeah, that's
exactly.
sadly really what it is.
He's just there.
I think, and I don't know, Logan, how you feel about this. I think the strongest Steve and like stories of Steve that we got, and just Steve in general continuity, has been from New 52 on. I think making him an agent of Argus, I think, kind of really works.
Yeah, but he's so weirdly jealous, and I like the one in the movie a lot.
Yeah,
New 52 Steve has this weird clingy possessiveness
that's true.
of
Damn,
like,
yeah, I didn't think about that.
Superman can't date you. I'm the one that found you. Like, I think he literally says that in the Justice League
gross.
run.
Yeah. I
that's
feel like so many of Steve's lines in any iteration are just like, ooh, that was a choice. I don't
Yeah.
particularly love this man, but I will say the best version of this man, in my opinion, is when he's just like, no thoughts, just vibes, generic white man failing upwards. Like, I feel like he could be a very great supporting, compelling addition to the story that is Wonder Woman. But so often he is the whiny man-child who is like, you are my property. And I don't really fuck with that.
And then he dies.
I feel like he's great in the movie. Actually, in the 40s, 1940s, himbo doofus Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
That just kind of is this positive, friendly guy, just following Diana around, happening
You
to
kind of see that
step over
with
a bear trap. You
Chris
know,
Pine's
like,
character a little bit. Yeah, you do.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and
Yeah.
I like Chris Pine's character. I felt like in the first movie was perfect, especially the part where he dies and goes away.
Yeah.
Like he makes a fantastic, like, I'm an incredible, not necessarily what you have been led to believe. So that everybody in the audience learns a very important lesson about blanket prejudices. And
Yeah.
he fucks off because
Mhm.
what happens every time he hangs around is he starts to become the star of Wonder Woman's comic, or he becomes this really like petulant ex.
Yeah.
Weirdly,
yeah.
I think Tom King did the best job of finding a personality for Steve that people really liked and wanted to read about, only to then immediately whack him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
You came so close, and then just God.
for me, I mean, he is integral to Wonder Woman's origin. Like the version of
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's origin that works. Steve is the linchpin of it.
Mhm.
So I don't think I can put him in a D, but I don't really think he goes any higher than C.
I'm
Yeah, I was
comfortable
like,
with
I don't
C,
think he
yeah.
could go higher than a C. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with
He's
C.
a great damsel in distress, but anytime you try to do more with that, I feel like
I agree.
it kind of falls apart a little bit.
I don't know if are you guys reading Absolute Wonder Woman?
I've
I'm
only read the
not
first
currently
issue.
reading anything, unfortunately.
Sly, you specifically
Yeah,
have
you gotta
got to
read
read
Absolute.
Absolute Wonder Woman. But
Okay.
Absolute Steve's pretty great. And he's shorter than her,
Okay.
which I like.
Oh,
Love
I love that. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. All right. So we got
My TBR from these 2 episodes alone has grown exponentially, and I love that. But also, I'm like, when am I gonna have time to read all these?
you know.
Give me a PO box. I will start mailing them to you.
Hell yeah!
You gotta use the bathroom sometimes, Sly. All right. There's a reason why magazines were put in bathrooms.
I say God made us poop
Right.
so that we would read.
Exactly. All right,
Valid.
we are down to our final 2 families. We did make a good time. I think
One of
these-
these I have strong feelings about.
okay. I think we're gonna go pretty quickly with these 2, and because this one specifically, I'm gonna lump 3 characters in one thing real
Well,
quick.
I was actually gonna. Can we flip? Can we do Aquaman and then Marvels? Because I have a lot more.
Sure.
I have a lot more positive things to say about the Marvels, and
Okay.
I think I probably have more to say.
Okay. Cool.
Let's do
Also,
that,
that has us ending on Hoppy the Marvel Bunny, which I think is fun.
That's a good way to
That
end.
is
Yeah,
great.
let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going with the Aqua family. We're gonna start with the linchpin, Arthur Curry himself, Aquaman. Where do you guys
Can
feel?
I tell you about how
Yeah.
much I want to like this group of characters?
There's a coolness to
I
it.
love
There
water-based
is.
characters.
Yeah.
There is a coolness, but there is just something that, like, as somebody who swam competitively, as somebody who grew up like on lakes. Like water has always been so integral to my character. Like that's the characters I always gravitate towards. Like when I was a child, like doing Avatar: The Last Airbender fights on the dance floor at weddings, like it was always water based. Like I love water based characters. Here's the thing, like most of these have never really connected for me, and that's always so disappointing. Like Arthur is cool, especially when the cartoon where he has the hook hand.
The hook
He's
hand is
so
probably the
cool,
best thing that's
but
ever
he's
happened to
just
him.
like
Yeah.
he's so regal, and like I feel like they fit such a strict like hierarchy, which works for like trying to give a different culture to the storylines, but I've always felt so detached from them, and that breaks my heart. Like I feel like I just need one story where I like really fall in love with them, and I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's the new 50. That's the new 52 Aquaman run.
yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I should try it again, but it just didn't
yeah.
land like
I'll tell you
100%.
another really good one. Oh wait,
Oh, yeah, read.
You're like, I have a prop.
Is it the Peter David? Oh no,
JLA
yeah,
Year One,
yeah.
Aquaman in this.
That's good.
It's such a great characterization where like it's his first time on land, and they do this great thing where he's constantly whispering because you don't have to speak as loud underwater.
Right. Yeah.
So like he's having all this
So
trouble
cool.
integrating on Earth, and him and Martian Manhunter form a bromance over being the outsiders. Like
Love that.
this was my wife's
Okay.
into Aquaman. The problem with
Okay.
Aquaman is that more than any other character we have talked about today, Aquaman is actually 7 guys.
Yeah.
Right? He has
Yeah.
been recreated completely more than any other DC character. And I'm talking about his original origin. He was a kid raised in the 40s. He was a kid raised in a bubble. It didn't even have anything to do with Atlantis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the level of recreation we are talking about. Most
Yeah.
people's idea of the default
Throwing everything
Aquaman,
out.
yeah, most people's idea of the default Aquaman isn't even fucking him. Like, it's not. And he's always, for me, existed in the shadow of Namor, which I'm a big like Marvel Age comics
Yeah.
guy, and
Yeah.
specifically the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby Namor.
Yeah.
Is
Namor has
so
more teeth
fucking
to him,
cool.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Namor especially feels a little bit more grounded in the fictional culture they are trying to give to an Atlantis type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Even
he's
whether the
group of
comics or the
people.
MCU, like he's very unique in both.
Yeah.
He's different in both, and he's
Yeah.
still unique within the like water-based heroes. Where, look, I think where you kind of go like you get all the different origins of the comics, and then you get, I don't hate it too much, but Jason Momoa, you know,
Yeah.
who was,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, miscast. And that's not even against him
Mhm.
or Aquaman, the character,
Yeah.
who I do
Yeah.
adore, especially like 90s to New 52 Aquaman, like how.
Do you remember that one hate comment we got when we were talking about Jason Momoa's Aquaman?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was
Weirdly
one
enough,
hate
anytime we
comment.
bring up
Shout out
race,
to you, dude.
so weird. Yeah. I was like, oh, you know what
So-
fits? A water character being like an islander. That makes sense to me. I'm an islander. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm conflicted about when you say he's miscast. Yes, because to me that movie is a Marvel Hercules movie.
Yeah.
Underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Uh-huh.
that's Hercules. Yeah.
But that is also the
Don't get me
first DC
started on
movie.
Heracles. Oh my god.
That is also
another
the
for
first
another
DC
day.
movie to make $1 billion.
No, true.
And
I just think him as Lobo makes more sense than him as Aquaman. He would agree. I think many of us agree. Yeah, it's not a bad portrayal as well. It's just it's different, and I think he is very charismatic. He helps.
I don't think Aquaman makes that money without him. I
No,
think Jason
agree.
Momoa in that moment made him,
Yeah.
I love the new 52 Aquaman. I love Hook Hand Aquaman. I love Year One Aquaman. I love the animated series Aquaman. That to me He should always not have his hand, and it should always be that version. Because the comic, the way he loses his hand in the comic is the guy who controls fish gets his hand eaten off by fish. Yes, there's extenuating circumstances, but that's humiliating.
That's silly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You know?
it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It would
I
be like
agree.
if Batman got his ass kicked by regular bats. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's sad.
I
But-
mean, sometimes we have that whole weird fear of bats storyline. I don't know how
Yeah.
I feel about that, but
But
But the version,
Aquaman just keeps he keeps getting rebooted, and just
uh-huh.
even in current continuity, like not current continuity, they've been doing pretty good since New
Mhm.
52, thank God. But I'm thinking of like 90s, right? You have all his origins, it keeps getting changed, and then you have a consistent run. He's not really used too much. He's barely on the Justice League. Then Peter David comes around, really good storylines, hook hand,
Yeah.
and he's in part of the Justice League. There's an edge to him, even more so. We're trying. The Sub Diego stuff, it's a little weird. And then we kind of reboot the universe. He dies completely, or he becomes like this seaweed man. Remember that? He's like the Cthulhu kind of man thing, and it was like weird. And there's another blonde white dude that's also Aquaman.
Wait. I need a storyline that's the trinity of Poison Ivy, Swamp Thing, and Aquaman. Does that exist? I need to read it.
No, but he was like a weird magical kelp man for a little bit. It was really strange. Yeah, it was like really, really weird.
Flayer.
So weird.
Yeah,
And
then he was like,
it's the worst comic Kurt Busiek has ever. Like it's this. I love Kurt Busiek, but that comic is such a weird misfire.
I couldn't think of the writer. It was like it's so bad.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And the Aquaman they replace him with has like no super strength, but does have these huge, very visible, gross gills that stick out from behind his
weird.
neck and ears. And he has a seashell sword, which is one of those things that, like, on paper, you're like, yeah, sea guy. But then you see him fighting with a seashell, and you're like, this is not particularly,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Right before that,
I think he's just very middle of the road for me. Like, he could be anybody.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think go ahead, look.
I was just gonna. I think that because the versions of Aquaman that I like are probably an A, and the worst versions of Aquaman probably aren't a D. He's a B. Like
Yeah.
Like when you aggregate the basketball team of men that Aquaman has been, like you get
there's a little more positive.
You get a solid B.
Yeah, you get a little more positive. It's a passing grade overall. Yeah. Jeff Johns, we talked about a lot in this episode, but like his like New 52 run with him, I think recontextualized him perfectly for what we needed. I think I did a lot of heavy lifting there. I did our next. So we got two Aqualads themselves. So we have specifically, I guess we could talk about his name's Jackson Hyde in DC canon.
Yeah.
But Calderon, where do we want to put Calderon?
Listen,
if it
I
was
love
just
early
Calder,
Young Justice.
I know. If it was just Calder,
ahead, Sam.
he's S, right?
If it was just Calder, it'd be an S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the fact that the comics have never got off their asses and just done that. Just do that.
Yeah.
Just do that guy.
You have the mold.
Yeah.
There's the template. Just follow it.
And you have a crisis every year. Just say in the next one, make the next
do
one
an episode about all the fucking crisis events.
right. If you're going to reboot your continuity constantly, just say that in the new one, Aqualad is that guy now.
Yeah, because
there's
this weird disconnect, right? So they have very similar origins. Like, they both come from Manta as their Black Manta, one of Aquaman's greatest foes, father, and then a woman from Zebel as his mom. That's why he has the magical powers. But like Jackson Hyde is completely different character than the Jackson, aka Calderon, that we see in Young Justice, and they're both Aquaman now too. Think of it in current continuity, like where we leave off in Young Justice, Calderon is one of the leaders of the Justice League, so he moves on. Like that's one of the coolest things about that series. We'll have to talk about it one day down the line, but like those characters actually get to have a life move on, continue to grow, become different, like evolve in that universe where a lot of stuff doesn't happen in comic books. And they're both Aquaman in their respective universes. They both have the same powers, but like Jackson now is starting to get a little more serious, like Calder. But like Calder is such an interesting character. He is very autistic coded. You can tell. His duty to the mission
Tell me about
is
it.
so impressive, and he is one of the cool legacy characters. And it again, we talked about this last week. They do something cool when you have the mentor character, and this is like the writer's telling you, "Hey, we're going to show you and tell you this is the guy." Arthur is so safe with Calder being the hero on the world, and he makes sure that, hey, are you cool with being this guy? Cool. Why? He's like, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to raise a kid. I'm going to have a wife. I'm going to take care of Atlantis. If anything huge happens, I'm here. But guess what? I trust you. You're going to be the guy. You're going to be Aquaman. Yeah. You're going to be Aquaman. As a matter of fact, you're not even on the Young Justice anymore. You're in the Justice League itself.
You're going up to the big leagues. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck Jackson Hyde. He's an A. Right? He'd be an S, but he's the coolest member of the Aquaman family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By leaps and bounds.
You know.
Yeah. 100%.
Consistently, anyway.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So moving on to the original Aqualad.
Jackson Hyde does have cooler hair.
Jackson Hyde, unfortunately, does have cooler hair. Yeah, that's a modern comic and just media in general. Problem.
Yeah.
Regular Calder's hair looks a little too much like Dennis Rodman.
It does. It does. But it really works. It's shocking that it works. Moving on to the original Aqualad, Garth. Where Tempest? Where do we want to put Tempest? Because this is the shining moment with
me, man.
I agree. I was gonna say the shining moment is Will Wheaton voicing him.
Barnacle Boy has never worked I don't think.
It barely works as Tempest.
I really like that one costume where he looks like a Sokka knockoff, not to make a second Avatar The Last Airbender reference.
This one, the photo you chose from Young Justice?
Yeah. I really enjoy this look, but character-wise, not much going on up there.
No, not much at all. Not much at all.
The only comic I remember really liking him in is Mark Waid's World's Finest Teen Titans. He was cool in that. But he has the same problem as Aquaman, but none of his versions are as cool as Aquaman's cool versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no heavy lifting.
Every time he shows up.
Doesn't matter. His suits are okay. They're very 90s. You know, like Aquaman, I know when even they try to change the costume, right? And they don't give him the orange and the green, which I think, in hindsight, I think is one of the coolest suits ever. Especially when you make it armor. I think it looks better that way than just a like lycra or latex or whatever he's wearing. I feel like Garth has always had like a scuba suit. And it just looks, it feels inherently like a 90s scuba suit every time. And it's like, I don't know, man. It just feels, I'm thinking about look, you know what I'm talking about, with like the black on his shoulder, with it looks like waves. Yeah. It looks like a 90s super suit. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
It does.
I mean, I don't think there's a character that more embodies trying to make fetch happen than Tempest, the 90s version of. They're like, we'll give him a cool, angry name, in a cool, angry costume, in a face tattoo, and he'll do blood magic. And it's like, wasn't this dude just swimming around just a minute ago?
Yeah.
Calling himself a lad in no pants? Get out of here.
All right. I think we should do a little rapid fire here as we get close to the end of this episode. So we have Ocean Master. I think he works.
What's he doing in here?
Yeah, well, he's a brother. We were talking about families.
He's a brother.
We didn't put Bizarro in here.
Fair
enough.
Yeah.
He's here. He sucks, but he always like consistently sucks. So I guess that's good characterization? ?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say C for me, only because Patrick Wilson does a lot of heavy lifting in those movies for him.
I was gonna put him as an A. I think that he works. Oh. I think that he's more consistently works than Arthur does. But I tell you what, we'll split the difference and put him in B.
Let's do that. Let's split
Right
the
next
difference
to
and put it in
Arthur.
B.
There we go.
Because yeah, no, he does.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that Justice League Jeff Johns New 52 storyline where like they invade, so I was like, it didn't work. I was thinking AMU, which we recently covered like 2 seasons ago. I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
the movie and the storyline. And I remember saying it in that episode, like the storyline, the actual comic, pretty good. And I was like, yeah, that and Patrick Wilson kind of get him to be. Yeah. I think that's
I'll
one.
tell you what, we're talking too about looks. He's got such a cool helmet.
Very cool helmet.
Yeah.
Really, his only detriment is every Ocean Master comic is the same comic. Like at its core, it ends up being the same story.
Which again, consistency.
Yeah, but that's true for General Zod too, and we wouldn't scratch him off if he was on there. So.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
Next, we have a character that's a little more current to current, continuity, and she is the daughter of Mara and Aquaman, Andy. We have Andy Curry.
I don't know anything about this character.
Not too much. Yeah, she is going to be the future. In different like iterations, that she's shown to be the future Aquawoman. She is part of the Justice League. She was the protege under Kaldorn as Aquaman. So Future State showed her as that and all this stuff. And then initially, I think the idea with 5G, not the thing that does whatever to your brain. We're not trying to get that crowd. But DC's 5G, where that was a big ambitious thing that Dan wanted to do, and it did not work. These legacy characters were going to be like the main Justice League, and things were going to be different. Like Aquaman would have been like 70 for some reason. I don't know. It's weird. Look it up if you ever have time. Go down that Wikipedia. It's weird. It's crazy.
It's because everything walked forward in real time, right? So Aquaman now has existed since 1941. You know.
Yeah,
it's like the Magneto question.
Yeah, it feels very much in that vein. Like it. Yeah, everyone would have been like Batman would have been like 60. Like it was gonna be weird. It was gonna a lot of kind of cool concepts and a lot of not cool concepts. But yeah,
I don't know anything about her, but the other Aquaman and Mira's like kid superhero is famously a dead baby, so she's not D. So see,
yeah,
she's better than that.
Yeah, so I want to put her next to Trinity, which is a character like when you have her
potential.
like the books I read with her in it, I think she's very fun, very plucky. I think Jackson and her relationship is really cool and a cool inverse because now Jackson's kind of being written like Calder, he's a little more stern and serious. So she's like plays off of that really well, she feels unlike both her parents, right? She's a little more aloof and everything like that, almost like a nepo baby. Like nothing could go wrong. She's a princess,
love a
right?
movie.
This bar has got Duke and Avery and Trinity and her. This is like C is at least half the awaiting a good writer bench.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like
absolutely. Yeah. Can we rename C to awaiting a good writer?
Yeah, it's technically C is not bad. It's just like, man, there's some good characters that just need some good stories here. That's it.
Yeah, that's basically every single person I see right now.
Yeah. So, with our next character, I have a controversial choice here. We have Mara, Queen of Atlantis, former Princess of Zebul. I think she's more interesting than Arthur, so I would put her at A.
I love her. I love her so much.
Amber Heard's the worst part of her. I was
going to be the controversial one.
No. Yeah. I think Amber Heard's the worst part of her, and even then, she's not much in the second movie, so...
She has the powers that Arthur always should have had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't...
And she's way more
when they're trying to...
interesting.
Yeah. And when they're trying to get him away from Namor, they always are like, big fork. And it's like that's their
and
real
I love a
changer.
trident. Don't get me wrong, but that's not a defining characteristic trait, personality that you can glom onto a character.
But I'm super strong and I'm a waterbender. Dope.
Yeah. And a
she's
badass.
So cool.
And she's like, even that's the good thing about the movie, I would say too, that even like the Arthur that we get in the DCU, universe. With Jason Momoa, he is very much like, I can fight, I can do all this. Mara's like, you're an idiot.
Mhm.
I'm a better fighter. I'm this, and that. And then she like grows to love this
Yeah.
giant himbo of a man. She's like, fine, I'll make a baby with you, you stupid man. Like that's
Love
Mara
that
for
for her.
me. Yeah,
I mean,
think
he
she
still
goes.
looks like Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
helps.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have gathered to
Incredible.
our final family, the Marvel family, one of the craziest families, I would say, in DC Universe. We're gonna get into it. So I think the first
I
three
will
we can
say,
do some deep dives. Okay.
this is the one that I know zilch absolutely nothing about most of these characters. I
Oh.
have a very cursory knowledge of like Captain Marvel, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Get
So tell me about these characters.
get your reading list ready. I got
Yeah,
another one
yeah.
for you.
Okay.
So
Shazam and the Monster Society of Evil by Jeff Smith.
so good.
That is if you read that, if you still aren't into them after that, you're not into it. But that's the best.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That to
is-
me is the best version of them.
Hell yeah.
This is a character that at one point we talked about this last episode was the most popular hero in comic books at the time. He was more popular than Superman. So much so that then DC's like, oh, fuck it, we'll buy it then. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's what you do when you have a successful competitor. Yeah, originally Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, Fawcett Comics. Has a crazy family history. That's why this is kind of when we were thinking about different families, like we have to include the Marvel family because the lore and shit that goes. There's even characters we're going to talk about at the end here that I didn't even know about that you, Logan, brought up. I was like, we got to talk about it. But where do you guys want to put Billy Batson, Shazam?
I want to put him in S, but I feel like he has to go into A.
I agree.
Because there are really two Captain Marvels.
Yes.
And he has been, there's the version in which him and Billy are not the same person. That is the original, that's the true version, right? Billy is the kid, and the captain is a different immortal entity, right? And then
Is that
you
not
have
always the case?
No.
No,
okay, what's the other version?
In post-Crisis, after the Power of Shazam series, it became basically big with superpowers.
Yeah.
Where that Billy is always in control. He just now has an adult body.
Yeah.
So
Which is
that's like
basically
a child in an adult body with the brain of the aforementioned child. That's wild.
Yeah.
That was a choice that was made.
Now, when that's done well, like and Power of Shazam really honed in on this, and Jeff Johns, shout out again, also did great with this during JSA. When that's done well, there are differences because Billy has the wisdom of wisdom of Solomon, and the courage of Achilles when he's in the captain form. There's a really great moment in JSA during Black Rain when Black Adam has staged a coup and people are dying all over the place, where Stargirl pleads with Captain Marvel, please just turn back into Billy so I can talk to him. And the captain is like, if I turn back into Billy right now, I'm going to turn my courage of Achilles off and I'm going to freak the fuck out. And I'm not going to be useful. I have to stay like this or I'm going to disintegrate.
Yeah.
So you get interesting moments like that. But more often what you get, I feel like, is really frustrating. This guy literally has magic wisdom and is making doofus kid decisions.
Yes.
The sort of Zachary Levi problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that saddles him, unfortunately, into A.
Yeah, I agree. I put him at A. I do love that first movie. I think it's a hidden gem within the DCU movies. And I'm very biased because I'm from Philly and it takes place in Philly, like the New 52 run, which Jeff Johns at the time when he was a problematic and controversial figure, when he was doing the backups in Justice League, the New 52 Justice League, and we were getting little by little the story of what his Captain Marvel was. Sorry, Shazam. I remember it was like maybe by the third story, I was like, I remember tweeting, I was like, I love opening up Jeff Johns, Adam and stuff, Justice League, and seeing Philadelphia and all this stuff. And he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, you know why I picked it? I was like, why did you pick it? And he goes, shares a photo of Ben Franklin with a kite. He's like, where do we find electricity? I was like, God damn, you brilliant motherfucker.
That's cool.
God
I didn't
damn
know
it.
that. That's awesome.
It's like, why did you hate Ray Fisher, dude? Why were you such a dick to him? Come on. Look.
Have you heard what that whole thing allegedly started over?
No, you know what? Funny enough, I did not.
Ray Fisher felt like, this is alleged, right?
Allegedly.
I'm sure if Mr. Fisher were here, he would feel differently.
Yeah.
But what the crew of the movie told, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, was that whole fight started over Ray Fisher felt like it was racist to ask him to say booyah.
Oh, I did hear this. Yeah.
I've heard of that.
He felt like that was like a caricature. I don't think he got that. I think from hearing him talk about, obviously he doesn't say that it was over booyah. He talks around it. I don't think he understood that was already a catchphrase.
Yeah.
I think he had filmed this other movie where he had a very serious role, and then somebody came to him apropos of nothing and went, what if we cut all of that out of the movie and instead you said booyah?
That person being Joss
Yeah.
Whedon.
Yeah.
Sadly, another one. I love that.
And like,
yeah,
it's so interesting when we talk about like superhero media as live action films and like the cinema, capital C cinema of it all. And how do you grapple with these serious trained actors and the inherent like caricature-ness of comics? Like that is sometimes like the art style, literally. Like you are telling these over exaggerated stories that people can find the truth in and gleam onto and not get censored because they agreed to that whole shit. And like that is an interesting question. Obviously you want to be proud of your work and you want to feel like you are doing meaningful work, but I feel like we have finally gotten to the age where actors, capital A actors, are doing capital C cinema in a superhero setting and not feeling like it's diminishing their work as actors. And I'm really excited, like 15 years from now, what will it mean to be making superhero media as like a film?
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's a rant for another show.
I agree. All right. So we all agree. I think character works throughout continuity, history. I think he's linchpin. I think he works really well. Even Kingdom Come, one of my favorite stories. I think he's very, very good, very well written in that. Moving on to another like a big character within the family, Captain Marvel Jr.
And here's an interesting fact. You talked about Captain Marvel outselling Superman.
Yeah.
That is true with an asterisk, because Captain Marvel actually rode the coattails of this next character, who was actually the top-selling member of the Marvel family, who is the only person on this list who has beat consistently Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in sales at one point in their career, who inspired Elvis's change of look. The reason that Fat Elvis changed to the jumpsuit that he did is because Elvis Presley was such a big Captain Marvel Jr. fan. He wanted to imitate it on stage.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So shout out to that.
Yeah. And having said that, I don't know if there is a bigger fall from success in comics from that to almost no children know who this is. There are children that you could ask them walking out of Shazam who he is, and they still would not know. Like, mind-boggling.
Yeah, the only I would say, I don't know, look how you feel about this. The last like significant storyline I think that we got with Freddy, not in like this is pre New 52, would have been post Infinite Crisis when like everyone kind of gets leveled up, right? Where he is now Captain
Mhm.
Marvel. Billy is now the Wizard Shazam, basically, for all intents and purposes, and Mary's also like kind of stepped up as well. Like they're dueling
Yeah.
like heroes. I think that was the last time where I remember specifically Freddie Freeman, his Captain Marvel Jr. character, has been one where like if you know this, like that was like a beacon for me. I was like, oh shit, you know your shit. Like if you know Freddie Freeman and
Mhm.
you know what you're talking about, like yeah, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're a real comic fan, like a crazy comic fan. You're like on that level. I want to have more conversations with you. Like it was one of those things.
Mhm.
I think post New 52, Freddie is probably suffers the most out of all the
Yeah.
characters, right? Because he goes, and this is not a knock to the three characters after Mary we'll talk about, but like he gets down to their level. Mary also
Mhm.
suffers to a certain descent, but like not as much though, because she still has very interesting storylines within comics canon. Then they do some cool
Mhm.
stuff with her, or Young Justice, like they do some cool stuff with her, and they play around with her a little more. That she didn't get too scathed, but like you're right, the fall from grace. It's honestly too when DC purchases them, right? Like when they
Yeah.
purchase Fawcett City, like he gets diminished because now they want to focus on Billy, and then Freddy's also there. It's like he should have been on the Titans. There's so much there you could do.
Well,
Mhm.
and Freddie is what pissed him. When you talk about what started that lawsuit, Freddie is what pissed him off
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
Freddie is originally blue with a red cape and a
Mhm.
yellow chest emblem
Yep.
that looks like a triangle. And
Mhm.
that, and then he's out selling Superman. And that is what starts the fight. And that's why they lose the case. Like,
Mhm.
ultimately, why they can never get it thrown out. Because they don't really lose. That's kind of a misnomer. The way that they lost is Capital had more money than Fawcett did
Yeah. Mhm.
and waited them out
Yeah.
until they ran out of money. Right. But the reason that they could never get it completely out of court is because he looks too
Yeah.
much like Superman.
Mhm.
Him personally.
Yeah.
Now, as a kid from the '90s, the Power of Shazam version of Freddy, for one thing, they changed his cape white, and they changed his name to CM3. He was fantastic, and some of the stuff like
Yep.
that version, the Jerry Ordway version, really dug into like making his nemesis explicitly Captain Nazi again, like it
Mhm.
was in the Golden Age, and getting into like when this kid gets his powers, it's because he and his grandfather stop. They see a man fall into a lake out of the sky, and they stop to fish him out of the goodness of their hearts. And it's a fucking
Mhm.
super Nazi, and he stands up and hits them both over the head with an oar, kills his grandfather, and cripples him. And Captain Marvel feels so bad that he gives this kid superpowers. But in the '90s, he had this kind of he was still a good person, but he had a little bit of an edge
Yeah.
of an anger because
Mhm.
because when he wasn't using the powers, he was this crippled kid. I really think that Freddy is an A to me.
Oh,
Mhm.
I would
If
agree.
people wanted to argue that like post New 52 Freddy, where they basically turned him into Shaggy, I mean he's a coward and a sneak, and
Yeah.
he's not the same character. There's no pretending that he is really. Um, if you guys wanted to argue that that brought him down a clip, I could totally, I might be talking myself into a B.
Yeah.
But when Freddy is good, he's fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, and I will
I
say
also want to do an episode on all of the characters that comic books de-disable.
that there's a
'Cause
lot
that's
there.
a whole
There's a
there's
lot
a
there.
lot there.
Yeah. I did want to talk about Freddie. I did want to shout out though Jack Dylan Grazer and Adam Brody. Great jobs as Freddie. I think with what they're giving in that movie and the
Yeah,
fact that it's like New 52 esque. He doesn't, he is like I don't want to say psychic, but he is there. Like he has a it was good casting choices. And what they did with Freddy, he has a little more screen time, a little more to chew. I have not seen the sequel. I know he's a little more in the forefront, but it's kind of hard to even try to go back to that sequel after everything we know about Zachary Levi.
Yeah. My only problem with that is I feel like that kid should have been Billy. Like,
dude, and that's not even a knock of the kid who plays
That's
Billy.
so
He's
loud.
good. He's just like how he talks and everything. I agree with you 100%. Next, we have Mary Marvel herself. Logan.
Okay. So there's 3 Mary Marvels.
Yep.
You have original Golden Age Spitfire first wave feminist Mary Marvel, and that's actually explicit in the Golden Age texts. Like there's covers of the Mary Marvel comic where she's leading suffragette marches and stuff.
Yep.
Like that version, S tier, fucking love her. You have Power of Shazam, sort of quiet Republican Mary Marvel, where she's like raised in a very religious family. She's almost like a Duggar, right?
Oh,
if I like
The witch up.
Yeah.
Like to start so high and then the Duggars.
And
sadly,
unfortunately, because of that, you then have New 52 Mary, who is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And like she is so socially conscious. She's never allowed to make a single misstep or do anything wrong. And because of that, she's never allowed to do anything at all.
Yeah, interesting.
That's not compelling storytelling.
Right.
You have to have flaws. You have to be able to make mistakes to tell an interesting story.
But I really like classic Mary Marvel. There's a great crossover with Superman from the 70s where it's a big like prestige format, giant size comic. And at the end of it, I think the bad guy's Savannah, but Superman and Captain Marvel go, you don't have any powers now, so it wouldn't be fair to thump you for what you've done, so we're not going to hurt you. And Mary goes, I don't care about fair, and punches him out.
Hell yeah.
That's Golden Age Mary. But yeah, I mean, she's a character that is defined by dramatic swings.
I mean, they try to make her a villain at one point in the comics. I remember that.
Oh God, don't even get me started on what
fan.
Final Crisis did to her. I mean, literally, like raped in the most horrible possible literal and philosophical senses of the word. And remember, that version is the one that's like kind of like a politely conservative Christian demure she's like that version of Mary Marvel is the chick who like in her secret identity is probably wearing like ankle length denim skirts. To then do that to her,
it was weird. It was
horrible.
It was like we could have did this storyline differently where we don't get A to B I don't like, but C can be compelling, but we don't how we got here. I don't want it. Is it safe to say
Mary Marvel
C? B or C?
I would put her to B. She predates Supergirl. And I think has more of her tenure where she is a good character than Supergirl. But she also, but none of that is modern, right? She actually is pretty good in the comics right now, but that's kind of in the same boat as Kara, where she just had a stint where she was Shazam.
Yeah.
Like she was Captain Marvel, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
I understand that series was pretty good and had Doc Shaner art, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, no, I think I've read like maybe the first issue. It was decent. It was good. My only critique of Mary that I wanna put in here is it's just a weird choice direction wise, like movie wise and stuff, is that, and this is nothing against Michelle Borth who plays the Captain Marvel version of Mary, right? Who Mary, when she says Shazam, turns into this hero. Ideally, when you turn into your Shazam counterpart, when you say Shazam, you turn into Captain Marvel or Freddy or Captain Marvel Jr. or whatever. You are what your ideal self would look like as an adult, whether muscles and everything like that. We see that in Kingdom Come when Billy is an adult. He looks like Captain Marvel. and then he just says Shazam and it has powers. You know, like he looks the same, he just has powers. Grace Carolyn Curry, who plays Mary non-Shazammed, you know, pedestrian Mary, and then says Shazam, turns into Michelle Borth. Grace Carolyn Curry, or Mary in the movie, is 18, about to go to college. So it's like, you're gonna look like that no matter what. Why do we?
Yeah.
They fixed this in part 2. In the sequel,
Yeah,
I know
she plays
that
it in part 2.
Yeah, when she says Shazam, she just is in the suit because it makes sense. It's just a weird
and that's
choice.
a problem. That's a problem for me with the New 52 Shazam family, because prior to the New 52, Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel look exactly the same as they do in their civilian identity. They just Freddy's not crippled, right? Like, but everything else is exactly the same. It's only in the New 52 that they all turn into grown-ups, other than Billy, and I think somebody thinks that preserves their secret identity. But that same like weird dissonance of the kid brain and the adult body, I think gets even weirder when there's 6 of them, especially the one that's basically a toddler.
Yes,
And I actually, I think we can do the next 3 all at the same time.
That's what I was alluding to before we got into the Marvel family. We're just gonna lump these 3 because they have a shared history. If you see a book, it's not with one of them; it's all 3 of them. Usually, all 6 of them are going to be together, most likely. So you'll see these 3. But we have Eugene Choi, Darla Dudley, and Pedro Peña. The next 3, they don't even have superhero names on their own. That's the worst part. Like,
well, I think they're the
I was trying to
replacement.
find literally anything about them, and they were just like, "Here's more Shazam family."
Well, I think they were Jeff Johns' idea of a replacement for the Lieutenant Marvels from the Golden Age.
Yeah.
Because originally he had 3 other guys, and the Lieutenant Marvels have a great setup. They're all other kids named Billy Batson, who find out because their name is Billy Batson, due to a loophole in the magic, they can now also say Shazam and use Billy's powers. And they become the Lieutenant.
Cool.
Yeah. And those, I talked about them last time. Those characters are named Fat Billy, Skinny Billy, and Hillbilly, who is from the South.
Love that. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Iconic.
They're kind of like a Hanna-Barbera superhero team. Like, they're very goofy.
Yeah.
And so I think Jeff Johns wanted to do something with that. And you can kind of see Darla is often very skinny.
Yes.
And Pedro is kind of fat.
Yeah.
You know, these correlations don't work. But
Eugene's not very much a hillbilly.
No, it doesn't. Eugene is not a hillbilly. Well, I guess if Darla could be, if Darla's from Atlanta, she could be.
She's
Southern, there's no parallel here.
Yeah.
But he sees the parallel. He sees this as the modern Lieutenant Marvels. Just like Lieutenant Marvels, it's too many Shazam people. The thing that I said about Streaky last episode, this is a bridge too far. You already have 2 Shazam family people who work great. You don't need these 3 really.
No, and I agree. And it's a shame because, again, movie-wise, going from that, like, both the child actors and then the adult actors that they choose, like DJ Cortona, who almost was Superman, by the way. If George Miller got his movie, he would have been Superman, but he is now part of the Shazam family as a grown-up Pedro. Megan Good as Darla, and I do not remember the actor who plays Eugene as when he Shazams out. They all do great. And it's fun. And the movie, even the children actors do a great job. It's just they don't have their own storylines, so it's like it's hard to judge them without seeing everybody else. And Mary and Freddie already have a pre-history, pre-New 52 history. They have lore behind them. They have a whole other company they were part of beforehand. They don't, and I would love to see if there was like a solo series about Pedro. Let's give him a name. Let's give these characters names, like superhero names and stuff like that. I think when I read a story with them, and I enjoy it. But they're not the highlight for me. So because they're just there, I unfortunately want to put all 3 of them in D. Like, because
I was going to put them in. Go ahead.
I said because we haven't even had potential. Like they haven't even gotten a chance to even try to do a solo story, or even if it's just them 3. Like, what are those 3 doing? something like that. Nothing. Like, anytime they use the characters, it's with everybody else, and it's like it's almost like a disservice to them. Like, let's let them breathe on their own a little bit. I think if they were able to, if from the New 52 till now, if they were able to breathe on their own, I think maybe we would have gotten them to a C, where they could have had more potential. Because I doubt we would have got like 12 issue runs or like more with them by themselves. Maybe like a 3 or 6 issue miniseries, but right now we have nothing. If it's not, it's like Nerf or nothing. If it's not with Mary, Freddie, and Billy, it's nothing. It's nothing. Which is a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, so we got rapid fire time with a little bit of lore to wrap this up. We have Tawny, the talking tiger. I'm a big fan of Tawny. Logan, I know you're a big fan of Tawny.
Yeah.
Could somebody give me like a elevator pitch on who is?
What if Alfred
Tawny?
was a tiger?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I mean,
everything about the character art was giving like Kellogg's like Tony the Tiger. And I didn't feel like that was the vibe. But like Alfred but a tiger. I could fuck with that.
In the Golden Age comics, there's this organization called the Monster Society of Evil that comes from another world into this world. Some of them are crazy over the top monsters, but a lot of them are just animals that are like seem to be from like a Babar world.
Yes.
Where they dress in like nice British suits and stuff. And that version of Tawny is a very sophisticated, you know who he is? You know who he really is? He is 90s X-Men show Beast. Like, he's a very sophisticated,
that's perfect.
very erudite, posh guy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you back him into a corner and he's a fucking tiger.
Yeah.
Like some of the best.
He's from the Philadelphia Zoo. Like originally in the New 52.
There you go.
So that was cool.
The 52 version is great.
Yeah, and then he got reverted back to a normal tiger, and then the Tawny came through as one of the way station. Like they went to his world basically, as you mentioned, and so they kind of brought the modern. This is what that image is from. Is from the like post rebirth DC rebirth storylines.
Okay. Cool. Incredible. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I would put him in an A. I think
honestly,
that Tawny works more consistently across all the versions than Mary and Freddie do. Like, unfortunately, but also fortunately, every time they take the time to put Tawny in, he's dope. And the only scene in Final Crisis that I enjoy at all is when Tawny fucks up Calabac.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's so cool. Oh, it's so cool. All right.
I don't know if the power scaling on that works exactly, but it's such a good moment. I don't care. Like,
yeah, who cares?
All right.
We can have fun things.
Exactly. All right, Logan, to wrap up the show, this is all you. You get to place them. You get to talk about them briefly. Uncle
Dudley, for me, so this is the most important character that doesn't exist anymore. Remind me, what is the father's name that adopts them in the New 52 and in the movie?
Oh goodness, hold on 1 second. Vamp for a second. New 52.
We love a father figure. I think it's so interesting that so many comic children, their backstory is like death of a parent, because that
Victor
is not
Vasquez.
something. Victor Vasquez. Unfortunately, that's too commonly relatable, but also I feel like for the average child, quote unquote, it's not very relatable. And I think it's just so interesting that every like default, like you want to slap a backstory on a younger character, it's like orphan.
and that's where Dudley comes in. So Dudley, first of all, in the 90s, Dudley does get superpowers, but traditionally Dudley does not have any powers.
Okay. Love that.
Because originally they had to split the powers evenly, and Dudley felt like it put the kids in danger.
Too much
for him to get a share. So he sewed his own Captain Marvel costume that he quick changes into, so they will think that he has changed but won't make themselves any more danger. Dudley is
cute.
Dudley is a homeless man that Billy makes friends with when he's a homeless orphan, who takes care of Billy and helps him. And when Billy gets a job at the radio station, because it was the 40s, and the 10-year-old gets a full-time job before the grown man,
correct.
he kind of takes Dudley with him, and Dudley becomes his legal guardian. At first, it's kind of a joke, but then as the years of the comics go on, Dudley becomes the adult who's he's a homeless man. He's got some screws loose, right? He's like he's a 50-something-year-old man that chose to live on the streets, but he really comes to care for these three kids and takes care of them. And like he's the one that's always at home. Dudley originally is the one that defeats Black Adam. In the first Black Adam story, Black Adam is just trouncing all of them. And Dudley walks up to him and goes, you know, you're pretty tough with them, but you're real scared of that wizard. And Black Adam says, no, I'm not. And he says, you're so scared of him, I bet you're too scared to even say his name. And Black Adam says, the hell I am. His name is Shazam. And then a lightning bolt hits him, and he turns into a 100,000-year-old man in real time and evaporates to dust. Like, that's how the original Black Adam story ends. Dudley is the winner. And one of my beefs is I love the way they've written the Victor, and I think the mother's name is Maria. Am I right about that?
Yes.
I love the way they've written those characters, but to me, in the perfect modernization of them, one of them has to be Dudley. Like, he's such an important character to me because he is this guy who, like, when you first meet him, who knows what decisions in his life have led him to, like, warming his hands over a trash can fire. But he looks at these three kids and is like, nobody is stepping up for them. Yeah. I'm going to do it. And yes, he's goofy. Like, he's a comedy character. But little stuff like, I'm not going to take these superpowers because I don't want the kids to be in danger. Or I'm going to hold down a job and get an apartment, even though I was fine on the streets because these kids need somewhere to stay. Like, I think he's a great character that shouldn't have been left in the dustbin, you know?
So where do you want to put Uncle Dudley? Your choice.
I would put Dudley in B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like he's great, but he's so often forgotten. Or a lot of times when he gets adapted, he becomes the butt of the joke because people don't understand. They just think of him as this. He becomes a lot of times in like cartoons,
the bumbling fool.
He becomes Paulie from Rocky. Like that's who they think of him as, and that's not who the character is in his best version. And then Hoppy the Marble Bunny. Hoppy the Marble Bunny is a D, but by God, he needed to be mentioned because Hoppy the Marble Bunny is actually from another universe where the Captain Marvel comics, I'm pretty sure he predates Crypto. There's another universe where anthropomorphic animals read about Captain Marvel in comic books. And he's become such a big fan of Billy Batson that the rabbit version of the Wizard Shazam from that universe goes, I'll just pick this kid because he's already read the handbook. So he's going to know what to do. And all the other thing about Hoppy, though, is you don't find out the wizard gave him powers until like his 5th or 6th issue. In the first issue, he just says Shazam and he's off to the races. Like the wizard doesn't come. So this wizard doesn't take him, doesn't explain anything to him. He's just like, I'll just give this kid superpowers.
He'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wild. Shouldn't be a thing. But he is a thing.
There is. All right, everyone. This is our final rankings right here. I'm going to go through them very quickly as we wrap up the show. We'll start with the D list. We have Streaky the Super Cat, Kate Kane Batwoman, Leanne Harper.
Breaks my fucking heart.
I agree. Listen, Connor Hawk, Green Arrow. We have Emiko Queen, Red Arrow. We have I want to say Red Sun Superman, but Red Sun from current Superman continuity. We have Star Child, right? That's her name in current continuity. We have CRL. We have Jay and Irie. We have Garth, aka Tempest, aka the first Aqualad. We have Eugene. We have Pedro, and we have Darla of the current Shazam family post New 52, and we have Hoppy the Marvel Bunny. In C rank, we have Stephanie Brown, spoiler / Batgirl. We have Damian Wayne. We have Duke Thomas. We have Huntress. We have Mia Dearden, Speedy herself. We have Natasha Irons, aka Steel. We have Lana Lang, who I forgot the New Adventures of Super or the animated series made her look identical to Lois, which is crazy. We have Linda Danvers, Supergirl. We have Barry Allen. We have Avery Ho. We have Iris West. We have Trinity. We have Steve Trevor, and we have Andy Curry, aka the future
C-tier is kind
Aquaman.
of stacked.
C is decent.
Say.
I love that
It's
we
the
came around. We're
potential
like,
category.
yeah, this is like basically C is what we want. We want more books of these characters. That's
we
what
want
we
more.
want.
Yeah, we want
DC,
better.
make these. Come on, David Zaslav.
Yeah.
Don't be such a prick.
It's a weird thing how it ended up because C is the potential category and B is the they've let us down bracket.
Yeah, isn't it funny?
So like
Yeah.
I weirdly end up feeling better about C.
Yeah.
But
B's had better stories, but then they all
disappointment.
crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of that, B, we have Bruce Wayne. We did separate Bruce Wayne and Batman. There's a reason behind that. We have Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
We have Red Hood himself, Jason Todd. We have Ace the Bat Hound,
Ace,
aka or Titus, depending on what what you're reading or watching. We have Roy Harper. We have John Kent. We have Keenan Kong. We have Wallace West, Kid Flash, or Ace, as you know now. Max Mercury. We have Donna Troy, the original Wonder Girl. We have Cassie Sandsmark, the second Wonder Girl. We have Nubia of Amazon. We have Arthur Curry, Aquaman. We have Orm, Ocean Master, his brother. We have Captain Marvel Jr., Freddie Freeman, Mary Marvel, and Uncle Dudley. A rank. This is where meat and potatoes. We had. This is why that first episode was 4 hours long. We have
correct.
Cassandra Cain herself, Batgirl, one of the coolest costumes ever. Tim Drake, Robin.
Oh, yeah.
We have Terry McGinnis, Batman, the Batman of Beyond of Neo Gotham. We have Oliver Queen, which was a surprise for me because Sly's on here. Green Arrow. We have my beloved Connor Kent, Superboy.
Our boy.
We have Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. We have Kara Zor-El of Earth 2, Power Girl. We have John Henry Irons, Steel. We have Wally West, the original Kid Flash, and now current and the best speedster ever, but he is Flash currently. We have Impulse, Bart Allen. We have Linda Park, who is Wally's wife. We have Artemis from the Amazons. We have Hippolyta, the mother of Diana herself.
Mother,
and
period.
Yeah, mother. Yeah, honestly, mother. Period.
Just
there
mother.
You go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We have Jackson Hyde if you're talking about DC continuity, but we have Kaldorm, more importantly, the Aquaman of the DC universe as well. He is here on A-list. Next to him is his queen, who he talks to, and from his homeland of Zebul, we have Mara. We have Captain Marvel, aka Billy Madison, aka Shazam, in A, and we have Tawny, the talking tiger, there as well. And finally S tier, which is just I think we killed it with
crop.
Yeah.
We killed it.
Yeah, we killed it with S. We have Alfred Pennyworth himself. We have Batman. We have Nightwing, Dick Grayson, the first Robin, and the hope of the DC universe, as he's called by so many people. We have Batcow. We have Crypto, the super dog. We have Selena Kyle. We have Black Canary, Dinah Lance. We have Superman himself, Clark Kent, Kal-El. We have Lois Lane, the best reporter in all of DC Universe. We have Jimmy Olsen, who was one of the best characters just in general, funny enough, as we mentioned last week. We have Jay Garrick, one of the coolest fucking Flashes ever. And if you don't like the helmet, get the fuck out of here. Thank you for listening the whole way here, but go fuck yourself.
So go fuck yourself.
Yeah. What?
Affectionate.
Thank you for watching and or listening, but go fuck yourself respectfully or not respectfully. I don't care. And then finally we have Dinah of Themyscira herself, Wonder Woman. Guys, we did it. 2 long episodes.
Can I propose one last minute change? I was thinking
please.
about while you're talking.
Absolutely.
I think we should bump Steel up into S tier. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I was thinking as you were going through the characters in S tier, and I was thinking about particularly like like Black Canary stories that are good and Black Canary stories that aren't good, Jimmy Olsen stories that are good, Jimmy Olsen stories that aren't good. Uh, and I got to thinking about it, and we bumped Steele down because we felt like he'd never really been given the spotlight. But as you were going through them this time, I was thinking I cannot, off the top of my head, think of a bad Steele appearance. I can't think of one time that Steele showed up and I was like, man, he sucked in this.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get the spotlight, but he's almost always an amazing part of whatever he's in.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So valid.
I really
You don't have to be the bride. You can always be a bridesmaid. If you're killing it, you can still make S tier.
Listen, Logan, I think last week you had a good line there where you mentioned, you would have loved to see a Superman where he's gone for a long time, and John Henry is the one who would have been Superman for Metropolis instead of John Kent. We didn't need to age him up. We could have had so many different potentials here, with that. And I think that would have really worked. I think because he's one of those few characters that uphold the what it is to be Superman, and I think that's really good.
He's for me when people talk about like we need a black Superman, and the debate always is Calvin Ellis or Val Zod. Neither of those characters really work for me because one is too much like Clark, and one is too much not like Clark. Like he's written almost like he's running from it. And really, John Henry Irons is matching Clark in the most important category, which is his character, while at the same time not feeling like he is just the player 2 version of Clark. Right? I think he's one of the most slept on characters in comics.
Yeah.
And I personally blame Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid. I agree.
We'll talk about that eventually.
We'll get there. He can meet me at the Papa John's of his choosing to settle it.
That movie should not have ended on a 3-point shot. Even me as a child knew this is ridiculous. That's when the disconnect happened for me. But yeah, this is it, guys. We did it.
That is it. Carlos, will you please download that image so we can have it?
Already. We're good. Yep, I got it.
Cool. Great.
But
I want to say thank you so much, both of you, for being here for 2 very long episodes, and going along with this silly little idea I had in my head. It came out even better than I imagined.
Yeah.
Our first ever emergency part 2, when we hit hour 4 and we went, oh, we're not even halfway through.
We need to break this up. Not we should break this up. We need to break this up.
Yeah, we need to. But this has been an absolute delight. I'm so happy to have you, Logan, on this episode. I heard you on a thing or two here and there on certain point of view, and I was like, I need this guy on the show right this minute. I think I texted Carlos. I was like, I want this guy on the show. And I just, sent a DM and it worked out. And I'm so happy. This has been the best conversation ever. I'm having a great time. I hope the audience is also having a great time. Thanks for, sticking it out with us. And until next time, where can everybody find y'all?
Let's start with you, Logan. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the Single Bound podcast. We're on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
We are also on YouTube, but we are much more on Spotify because YouTube videos are hard. So you can find us over there. And we review single issues of comics that stand on their own. So it's a read along, book club type podcast, but it has a very low barrier to entry. Most of the time, you're only going to have to put 22 pages away to keep up with us, and you will always have a self-contained story where you are good and satisfied and ready to go on to the next one. So we hope that you will join us.
Yeah, absolutely. Sly, for you and me, they can find us here, youtube.com/point-of-progress.
You found us. Congratulations.
Yeah, you did great. It's 2 things. First of all, as I always say with our episodes, if you are listening, come over to youtube.com/point-of-progress, like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching, go over to your podcast service of choice, like, share, and subscribe, all that jazz. Hit us up. comments, as long as they're not weirdly racist and stuff like that, are more than welcome. And
Or if they're negative about Jay Garrick's hat.
yeah, no, they're not welcome. Get the fuck out of here.
Not welcome.
So fuck out of here with that. We will not support that. But
we do not tolerate any
challenge.
Jay Garrick slander in this house.
Yeah, this is one challenge I'm going to put out to everyone listening and watching or whatever. If you happen to watch both episodes, however many hours we recorded, I think it's like 7 hours or something like that. Comment down below, gobbledygooker. Let me know.
Gobbledygooker.
I knew that would get
okay.
Logan. So that gobbledygooker. All right. That's how you show how much you love
You're
this
a real
show.
one.
If you could do that. Okay. All right. Till next time, class is dismissed.
Bye.